You're about to watch another exciting episode of the Dungeon Run, but did you know that you can actually be part of the adventure? Tune in live on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can make your voice heard and help determine the fate of our adventurers. Hope to see you there.
Hello, friends and loved ones. Welcome to the premiere of our new show. Welcome to my amazing friends that I'm surrounded by, and welcome to you, watchers of the time stream. Hey, friends!
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, friends.
We're here. It is our last show of 2024, and I am joined by Ron, of course, by Surena, by Rachel, and for the first time, besides if you're a patron, you saw her earlier, Lexi McQueen is here with us. Hi, Lexi.
Hello.
Lexi, there's been a question in the community already.
Oh.
Is there a Steve McQueen relation?
Either the director or the actor from the 60s and
Yes,
70s.
either one.
What's
Right,
the
okay.
car's name? And lightning.
Really, it's the
McQueen.
lightning
Or
connect?
lightning
Yes.
McQueen.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Right.
need a
My
lightning
great
connect.
great grandfather's car.
Yes.
Yep. Let's get this out of the way now.
Yes. Yes.
Ka-chow.
In case anyone wonders.
Ka-chow. Let's play some Cthulhu. Ka-chow.
You know, we're starting this episode off perfectly
Listen,
already.
Cthulhu, but we're in the Cars universe.
Pixar Cthulhu.
I would watch that.
I mean,
I'm playing an airplane for sure.
Can I be a
because other
clone?
vehicles would exist. Oh God.
We're so thrilled to be here with you, friends, and we're so thrilled to be starting a new story. We had so much fun playing Call of Cthulhu over Halloween with Josephine and an amazing and Adam, and with an amazingly terrifying story that we're so happy to be here. And we said, let's tell let's tell a campaign with this. I got very excited. My background is in horror. I produce horror movies, as most of you know, and I got so inspired to tell one of these stories that I couldn't consider myself luckier to have reached out to my friends and gone, what if I did this? And I was met with a resounding yes! So here we are tonight, starting a new campaign using the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition system. I'm stoked. I keep saying that, but I am. So here we are. We have some business to get through, and we will dive right in and meet these amazing characters. But first of all, go to patreon.com/thedungeonrun. Catch all of the amazing behind-the-scenes stuff. If you've been a patron leading up to now, you saw that we did character creation sessions with each of these 4 amazing people, and we've already met these characters. We know who you're playing. If you're new here tonight, you'll meet them as we go, and I can't wait for you to. But there's so many amazing things starting at $5 a month. We'll also do our exclusive after show, Short Rest, and there's free interactivity. I'll get to that in a minute. And also, you can be part of our Patreon exclusive D&D game run by me. I'm running a lot of games lately, guys.
Yeah, you are.
Go to patreon.com/thedungeonrun. We are also sponsored by Die Hard Dice and Eldritch Foundry. We are so thankful to them. We're going to put their discount codes in the chat. But go to Eldritch Foundry, and for all of your beautiful painted minis, they just completed their Kickstarter where they can print minis fully color now and use our discount code, The Dungeon Run, for a nice discount on us. And Die Hard Dice sells amazing dice and amazing accessories. Use our discount code Dungeon Run without the on that one for a discount on us as well. Okay. Interactivity. This will be an interactive show. We are live, if you can't tell. It is nice to see all of you. To prove
So
it,
we're live
I'm just
right
going to
now?
look at...
What?
What?
No. I'm sorry.
we're
Did I
not.
say that? No, we're not.
Oh,
We're not live.
Nice.
We're not
Oh,
live.
Okay, fine.
I agree.
No. Jay Wolf, Mr. Ryan Winters, Angel Devilson, Dyson Capes. Wait a minute. Lexi's in chat.
What?
Where we can't be possibly live.
No.
We're live.
We're definitely not live. Called out. We are live right now, and this is normally an interactive show, and it will be an interactive show going forward. But tonight, as we just get rolling, we are actually, the interactivity will be coming later. Next episode after the new year in 2025, which sounds very much like the future. But be on the lookout for some amazing interactivity coming with this story, and I will give you plenty of chances to help or hinder these beautiful, beautiful souls. It'll be fine. Anything I'm forgetting, guys? It's so good to see all of you. This is our holiday show. It's our holiday horror show.
Happy Christmas.
Mary.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas.
I might have intimidated our players a lot before we started.
No,
We're
and I didn't
fine.
mean to.
I'm
We're
only
not
building
scared
a
at
second
all.
character. It's okay.
No, we're so brave.
It's so
We
brave.
are so brave.
I'm glad we got that out of the way, that we gave ourselves an award for bravery before we even started.
Yes,
Go figure.
we deserve this.
Yes, we do. Ron, you okay there, buddy?
Ron starts crying. My God.
Lip quivering.
Poor him.
I'm having
He's a dad now. The man's got kids.
fun.
Spare him.
Mother.
Okay, I think you're muted, Ron.
Muted.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's my life. Muted.
Muted as a
Don't
man.
listen to me anymore.
Fear took your voice away.
You look great.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out how that works out. That's for sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, with that, my friends, take us into the forbidden. Watchers of the Time Stream. Tonight, as we begin a new story, and as always, we call upon you to take your celestial seat, staring into the lens of the worlds we've visited many times before. We've peered in on many stories together, haven't we? Often in on strange, different places with characters you might never see in your normal everyday life. Owls and orcs and dragons and the like. But today, as we sit here, our view is a little different. Because at first it looks like a mirror. We're pulled back, way back, looking in on a blue dot in the midst of vast space. And as we get closer, that blue dot starts to look even more familiar. It's the Horn of Africa. It's the tip of Florida. It's the oceans that you know so well, that we've learned in school since we were so little. Is this Earth? It's impossible to tell because there's something shimmering over it. There's something like that same feeling of looking into a mirror. It's as if the image bends slightly. It's impossible to tell whether this is our world or someplace ever so slightly different. And as we peer a little closer, there's something else. Out there. With you. In the darkness. You're not sure what, you're not sure where. But an undeniable presence. Breathing. Existing. Watching. And you can't help but feel it's ever so slightly familiar. The date? It's December 18th. The year? 1922. The place is New York City. We find ourselves this day in a very well-appointed office, an outer office to be more specific, 35 floors up in the Equitable Building in Midtown Manhattan to be even more specific. The office is of Bennett Kirschbaum Esquire, one of the most prominent attorneys in the city, and his office definitely looks like it. Neoclassical architecture with tall ceilings, ornate plasterwork and mahogany-paneled walls that have a distinct ambiance of power and secrecy. Seated at an expensive desk, stationed like a shield in front of her boss's inner office, sits a woman with sharply edged eyeglasses and hair rolled so tightly it could probably stop a bullet. Seated in opposite corners of the outer office, in plush leather chairs, are two women. Between them is a low table, on which sit various newspapers and magazines, as well as a glass water pitcher with two small glasses. As we stay focused on these women for just a moment, we realize that we're looking at two of our protagonists. Surena and Rachel. Please tell us who we see sitting in these chairs.
You see one Charlotte Mantis, MD, medical doctor. She is sitting in her cobalt blue, sort of a, it's not a pantsuit, it's a pencil skirt suit because it's the 1920s. So I definitely have a skirt on with a, but it's like this bright, like this type of blue that kind of like pulls you in blue. With a kind of fluted top that has a little bit of a ruffle, a high collar with a bow, and her hair, which is usually very well kept, very meticulously curled, looks like that's where she gave. Her clothes pressed pristine, her makeup a little less so. Her hair, it is almost au naturel. Her short waves are as if she's rolled out of bed.
And seated mere feet away, not making eye contact with you all the time because this is someone you do not know, but you just find yourself waiting, as you often do, in that awkward waiting silence as you share a waiting room with someone else. We see Rachel's character.
Lorelei Shepherd. She is a woman in her mid-40s, 44. Very stiff-backed. She wears long draping clothes, a draping dress, and a shawl cover that almost touches the floor and is made of velvet, and all of her pieces of jewelry are very intricate and beautiful pieces of art. Very Art Nouveau, specifically. And her salt and pepper hair is actually very long, which is not as popular in the time period, but she has it pulled back, so it kind of swoops like a shell and pulls back behind her, and there's a subtle wave to it as well. She has a very woo-woo vibe about her, which is very popular in the time period, but she is a person that you can tell at a glance knows her way around a tarot card set.
The phone on the desk rings so loudly it almost causes you both to jump. With a deft hand, the woman picks it up and speaks into it with a sharp and practiced demeanor. Good morning, law offices of Bennett Kirschbaum. Absolutely not. Mr. Kirschbaum's not interested, and just as deftly and decisively hangs up and sets out to typing something.
Excuse me, ma'am, miss, will we be waiting here long?
Mr. Kirschbaum will be right with you.
Thank you so much.
Rachel, Lorelei, your eye catches one of the newspapers on the low table in front of you. The London Times, to be exact. Amidst world news of Ireland's independence and Russia becoming something called the USSR, a smaller article catches your eye. And I am sending you all a handout.
Ooh.
I love stuff.
Stuff! Something Call of Cthulhu is really great at is stuff!
Yes.
You should find in your email an article.
Oh, emailing. Okay.
Labeled Article in the Times.
Takes my eyes a minute to adjust
Certainly.
because I can't read it quite yet.
Neither can
Same.
I.
Fascinating. So I should have sent this earlier. It's okay. I will read it.
Yeah.
A headline reads, American publisher vanishes from renovated club. Disappearance confounds police. Dundee. Police are calling for the help of farmers and tenants northeast of the city after the disappearance of Mr. Arthur McMillan, recently of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mr. McMillan, age 64, moved into Crowwood Hall north of Abernight with his wife Crystal McMillan in May this year. Shortly after their arrival, Mr. McMillan bought the derelict Thistledown Golf Club and began renovations with plans of reopening the club the following year. It continues. Your eyes catch this article, and you may continue to read it out as you like when you receive it.
What month is it currently?
It is December
December.
18th, a week before Christmas.
Ah, imagine that.
Today, in fact.
It's a day, in fact.
Okay, she sits down and reads through it.
Certainly. As you're doing this, a different sort of ring comes from the desk, like a low buzz. Without looking up from her typewriter, the woman snatches up the phone again and holds it to her ear. She listens, then sets it back in its cradle without a word. Looking up from her desk, the woman fixes her eyes on you, Charlotte.
Oh, hello.
And with a pleasant-seeming smile that doesn't quite look right on her intimidating face, she says, Dr. Mantis, Mr. Kirschbaum will see you now.
Thank you so much. And remind me, what was your name again, ma'am?
Pauline.
Thank you so much, Pauline.
Hmm.
Great. And I go in.
She stands and holds the door open for you into the inner office, a fortress of mahogany, leather, and soft rugs. Standing up as you enter, standing up from behind the desk at the far end of the room, backed by high bookcases filled with law books that look to be able to crush a man, is a short, bald man with a thin, well-trimmed mustache. He offers his hand with a wide smile as you hear the door close behind you. Dr. Mantis, it's such a pleasure to finally meet you.
Hi. It's wonderful to meet you as well.
He shakes your hand aggressively, but not painfully.
What a healthy grasp you have, sir.
You're not doing too bad yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. My apologies. Do I still call you doctor?
So that's a very good question. Yes, you do. Loaded. In fact, I am a medical doctor. I'm no longer at the previous hospital I was at before. But I am still a license holding physician. So you may call me doctor. I did go to school for that. Thank you.
That's very good to know. Good to know. Please, have a seat. He gestures you towards one of the three high-backed chairs facing his desk as he moves to sit behind his desk once again.
Pause. Remind
Yes.
me, what was this man's name?
Bennett Kirschbaum.
Bennett Kirschbaum.
Our friend Dr. Wilkins seems to think the world of you, if you don't mind my saying, and I find her to be an excellent judge of character.
Dr. Wilkins is truly one of my favorite people. I've been home a lot lately, but when she called and told me about meeting you, I thought, well, if Hazel wants this meeting to happen, of course it should happen.
Well, pardon me for cutting to the point. Getting to that, actually. How are you feeling?
Tired.
I understand you've been through quite a lot of late.
What did Hazel tell you about me, Bennett?
Not much. She said you were employed in Manhattan General, are no longer.
Yes.
But she said you were someone who always showed great promise, great potential. But seemed to be possibly going through tougher times.
Yes. I reached out to a former colleague a bit ago, and he died. And I, unfortunately, was privy to his death. I tried to help him, but I couldn't. And that type of situation, of course, being a medical physician, we see death all the time. It is part of, the cycle and from which we live in. We see life, we see death. And we do our best to alleviate suffering. Is this too much, Bennett?
No.
Is this...
You see him, his eyes seem to study you. He's got quite a disarming demeanor, as he seems someone who portrays casuality through most things, but also you can tell that when it comes down to business, this man can get right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's not too much. I am in need of someone with your skills, which I'll get to in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And for a situation that is of the utmost importance to both me and clients of mine. I don't think it's anything you won't be able to handle, Dr. Mantis, otherwise you wouldn't be here, but do not mistake me. The stakes are high.
I believe you. I don't believe I would, again, leave my house and my cat, who is with my sister currently, if it wasn't important.
What's the cat's name?
Lucy. Thank you for asking. That's very kind of you. I have a drawing of her, actually. I keep it close.
I like a good cat.
Yeah, her name is Lucy, and I had her since she was 8 weeks old.
Oh.
And they were, supposed to have pairs, but I always say Lucy is my other pair. My pair is Lucy.
That's lovely. Out in the waiting room, Lorelei, as you're still looking at this article, which you have it here in front of you now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Would you like to finish reading it?
Yes. Let me pull it back open. Where did I put it? Okay. Where did we stop?
At the end of the first paragraph, I believe. On November
14th?
Yes.
On November 14th, Mr. McMillan left Crowwood Hall at noon to visit the renovation site. Throughout the course of the day, numerous workmen and the site foreman, Mr. Cameron Nairn, met with or saw Mr. McMillan, but at the end of the day, Mr. McMillan's car remained parked outside the club with Mr. McMillan himself nowhere to be seen. After a search of the premises, Mr. Nairn telephoned the Dundee police and Mrs. McMillan directly. After 48 hours and a detailed investigation at the Thistledown Club, police have officially declared Mr. McMillan missing. Detective Inspectors William Black and Michael McAndrew are now requesting farmers, tenants, and townfolks in Abernathy, Fowlis, and nearby townships to report any sighting of an American man in his early 60s of average height and build, with thinning white hair, wearing a navy tweed suit and using a cane topped with a silver ram's head. Mrs. McMillan is offering a substantial reward for information leading to Mr. McMillan's safe return.
As you're perusing this curious article, the door opens, the outer door, from the hallway, and into the waiting room steps Ron. Could you describe your character for us, please?
Absolutely. A tall, sturdy-framed, broad-shouldered man in his mid-50s. The sort who probably once wore a uniform with quiet pride. His hands are thick and calloused. Posture still straight, despite clearly weight of years on his back. His clothes are plain and well worn. A heavy wool coat, a shade of deep charcoal, a buttoned vest, and trousers that have seen one too many damp alleyways. A peaked cap rests in his hands, nervously as he rolls it in them, its brim frayed at the edges. He has a short mustache, just starting to frost with gray, and a keen, weathered face lined by old sorrow. Not a flash of emotion as he enters the room. Is this Mr. He pulls out a piece of paper. Kirschbaum's office.
Yes.
Oh, hello. I'm Diarmud Lorelei.
Are you as 11:45?
That is my time to be here. Yes.
Please have a
Am
seat.
I late?
He'll see you in a moment. No, you're fine.
Right. Madam. Madam, as he nods to the antiquarian and sits in the other chair, pulling out what looks like a pocket watch, quickly flicking it open, closing it, and putting it back. I thought I was on time.
I think he's running a little behind. Lorelei looks up at him from the article, and when she looks back down under her breath, she goes, "Typical Taurus."
Oh, I see how it's going to be. Got it. Cutting back in as Bennett is leaning over and looking at this drawing of your cat, Lucy, Charlotte.
Yes.
Well, that's a mighty fine-looking cat you got there.
Thank you. So, Hazel, she said that I needed to speak with you, and that you perhaps you have an opportunity, perhaps?
Indeed. It's a difficult situation, but as we all know, difficult situations can sometimes be opportunities for the right souls, you know?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes, I do know.
Excellent. Well, all right then. He reaches toward the shiny ornate phone on his desk, pressing one of the
sorry.
buttons.
You moved so quickly.
Oh,
Sorry.
are you you a little jittery? It's okay.
I know. I know it's fine.
I assure you, you're completely safe.
I am safe. I'm safe every day of my life. I'm safe now. I'm safe with you. Yes. Continue. What were you getting?
He picks up the phone. Mrs. Engbert, send in the eccentric and the Irishman if he's arrived.
Ooh, what's my code name, Bennett?
The doctor.
Yes. That makes sense.
And very similarly with how Charlotte was escorted into the room, the three of you now find yourselves in this inner chamber with Bennett Kirschbaum sitting behind his desk, kind of taking in stock, all three of you. He gives you a tight nod, Diarmud, and is kind of studying you, Lorelei, in a way that's not judgmental, but more just trying to get the look of you.
Are there any windows in the room?
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful view off to the west side.
Diarmud moves over to the window and sort of settles himself there, standing, sort of leaning against the wall with the window parallel to him.
You're on the 35th floor. You're in one of the highest buildings of New York City at the time. It's definitely a show of status and intimidation. But yeah, as you certainly know, you were in the room of a man who knows what he knows. Well, thank you all for being here. I understand this is not a situation that any of you might normally find yourselves in, but let me reassure you that it will be worth your time. Several weeks ago, my client, my friend, went missing.
Oh.
Would that be Mr. McMillan?
It is.
She holds up the newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh, astute.
He's a very successful publisher.
Oh.
And for those who keep track of this kind of thing, I believe he's within the top 15 richest men in the United States.
There's a list? How did you get on
Diarmud
that?
pulls out a piece of paper and writes on it.
I mean, I always find it kind of tacky, but it's just
Yeah.
impressive.
Who curates this list? That doesn't matter. I'm baffled. It's the 1920s and we have lists.
Well, yes. He is a well-known socialite, mainly did his business in publisher, as I said, in Philadelphia.
Oh,
But
yes,
we have
that
been
makes
working
sense.
together for decades now, and
Mr.
recently...
Kirschbaum,
Yes.
what kinds of things did he publish?
Newspapers, books, textbooks, things of that nature.
Ooh,
Nothing of a
interesting.
particular subject.
I mean, I think he, like most successful businessmen, tended to follow where the market took him.
Sorry, continue.
He retired
Novels.
earlier this year. Say again?
Romance novels.
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask his people.
They're popular.
They are popular.
Earlier this year, he and his wife Crystal, lovely lady, retired to Scotland. Kind of reclaiming the ancestral home. His people are from there, you see.
Oh.
But and by the way, Diarmud, you see this, and he'll gesture off to it as he is talking about Arthur. You see a framed photo on the wall, over to one side. You see the laughing, jovial face of Kirschbaum and a stout, bald man with wispy white hair on either side of his head. He has a penetrating stare you can see even through the laughter. As I said, he's a very wealthy man. He's very well respected. Made the news when he moved over there and bought a beautiful estate, even bought a golf club that had been run down, promised to refurbish it, renovate. North of Edinburgh, near Dundee. Crystal been setting up the house, this place called Crowwood Manor. Sheesh. I mean, I don't know. The British, what are you going to do?
Go on. What about the British?
I don't mean anything personal.
I know. I just like to jest.
Charlotte absolutely kind of does giggle. Yeah.
Arthur'd been busy renovating the club, Thistledown, they called it.
Thistledown.
And on November 14th, he walked into the club, witnessed by the construction foreman and about a dozen workers, and he never came out.
Oh, gosh.
Was anyone in the club? Or was it just him alone in there?
People have been all through it. Mostly people were working outside at the time. No one saw where, when, or how he went. But people have been all through that club now, the construction workers and then the local Scottish cops.
Bennett, can I ask you a question? Maybe a peculiar question.
This is a peculiar situation.
So, have you heard of any rumor or unusual, somewhat laughable situation about his murder? Anything that might strike you as something you would read?
Now, to be very clear,
in a book.
We do not know that this is a murder we are talking about.
You know what? That was me assuming murder. That's a doctor thing. I'm so sorry. He is probably fine.
I'm no fool, Dr. Mantis. When a man goes missing, a man like him for over a month, and we don't hear word, we don't hear any talk of ransom, anything like that, I know what it probably means.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
What I mean to say, though, is have you heard of anything peculiar around his disappearance, more than just he was gone? Have you heard any, I don't know.
I see you starting to put together perhaps why the three of you are standing here. And he'll look very directly at Lorelei.
Oh, enlighten me. I'm not sure why you have an antiques dealer here.
It's my business to know the skills of the people that I work with.
And
there's a couple different flip sides of this coin. Or not a coin, something that's got multiple sides. Anyway, leading up to the disappearance, a large number of workmen at the club started to complain of chronic headaches, dizziness. I don't know all the details, but apparently it got bad enough that some of the men stopped showing up for work.
No.
Now, Macmillan ain't the kind of guy to say this, but word started to get around. The place was haunted.
Because of headaches?
I just know what I'm told. I ain't been there myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you some Scottish ghost showed up and grabbed one of the richest men in the world.
I was about to say, the will-o-wisp.
Yeah.
The what?
The will-o-wisp.
What? What does that mean?
We'll talk about it later.
Yes.
Okay.
It's folklore.
I see. All right.
Ball of light, it encourages you to go into the moors and just disappear. Fae. Things. Yes.
I see I'm dealing with the right people.
Well, I was saying that in jest. Just because I've got to ask, but there was a lot of construction going on, yes?
Yeah.
Did you check the holes?
Oh, very good question.
You mean the golf holes?
I mean, perhaps if there were a well being built or an underground basement where perhaps if the workers were leaving because their headaches were happening, perhaps the safety features of the site weren't being properly stoked, if you understand.
I can't speak to every nook and cranny. As I've said, I have not been there by myself. All I know is that his wife, Crystal McMillan, wants no stone unturned.
Okay.
Again, looking directly at Lorelei. And I mean no stone unturned. We need to perhaps consider every possibility, even if some of them might seem rather ridiculous to some of us.
I agree. I think that the world is very complicated, and, it could be the headaches were due to some chemical leak that is in the earth. A lot of times water, spoiled water, can also create headaches, especially if they are long hours working in fumes. However, I am eager to go, but I would like to understand what we get in return.
There's a ship leaving for Glasgow tomorrow afternoon. The RMS Cadonia. I got 3 first-class tickets for you and a contact waiting to meet you on the other end. The family's taking care of all travel and lodgings, first class all the way, and offering $150 a person for any worthwhile information on the location of Arthur McMillan. $150 in 1920.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
I want the man found. I'm willing to consider anything. All I know is he seemed to vanish into thin air.
I've got a rather pointed question for my fellow hirees here.
Charlotte. My name's Charlotte.
Lorelei.
Apologies, ma'am.
Lorelei, hello.
Hello.
Charlotte and Lorelei. I'm Diarmud.
Ah.
Do either of you have any experience with firearms?
Oh, no.
I have and she opens her purse and there's just a tiny little purse pistol.
Oh my gosh.
Derringer?
A pearlescent
Like a
handle.
2-shot Derringer probably or something? Yeah,
Something real
okay.
soft.
well purchased. That's a very good weapon you carry with you.
Thank you. A gift from my husband.
It won't fail you, I promise you that. Doctor, I'm assuming you probably have some sort of problem with a gun?
Ethically, no. Well,
Are we expecting to use guns? in
yeah,
this
so that's my
situation?
question.
I'm just saying, if a rich man goes disappearing and we're worried about will-o-wisps, I'm more likely to think your enemy is probably someone with guns. So I'm just making sure, in case it is, and hopefully rarely needed, if I hand you one, or you know which way to point it and what to do with it.
Vaguely.
I believe, yes.
Okay.
I would know how to use it if necessary, but would prefer not
course.
to.
Mhm.
touch
It
I'd
is
rather
a
talk
last
my way out.
contingency,
Ever.
always.
Yes.
Violence is a last choice of always.
Were you a military man?
How could you tell?
A hunch.
Hmm.
Call it a hunch.
You should dress warmly. I hear it's cold as hell up there this time of year.
It is.
Pauline out front will have the rest of the information available, but I'm also assured that you'll be able to question the staff, the foreman, anyone else you might want to talk to while you're up there.
Are there
You
still
mentioned,
people on site? Oh, sorry.
Please go ahead, Lorelei.
Are there still people on site, or has construction halted?
Construction's definitely halted. The foreman and, the workers have gone off on their own. The foreman is still around, but no one is doing work.
And there's no caretaker on the site or anything?
It's pretty well blocked off and locked up at the moment, but no. And there is a groundskeeper at the manor.
Okay.
What is the name of the foreman?
That gentleman's name was in the article, actually. Cameron Nairn. Yeah, Mr. Nairn.
Mr. Nairn.
And the caretaker at the Crowwood Manor.
Crowwood Hall, yes.
Crowwood Hall.
That gentleman. Well, there's the butler, Keating.
Keating?
Keating.
As in the poet, Keat.
Yeah, Keating, but like the verb. Keats, Keating.
You rather like him.
Mr. Craig, Peter Craig, he's the groundskeeper of Crowwood Manor. Crowwood Hall.
And one last question for you. You said there was somebody we'd be meeting on the other side.
Yeah, there's someone familiar with the grounds and the land, basically more of someone who can help in the realm of tracking, nature, things that more familiar with the features of the local landscape.
A huntsman.
Huntswoman, yeah.
I see. And their name?
Eden Danforth.
Eden.
She'll be meeting you at the train station in Dundee.
So,
Right.
is there any? I know that you want Arthur found, and we will do our very best to find him.
It's the most important thing.
Yes. Is there anything that we be aware of about Arthur? Did he have any eccentricities or
Was he
things?
superstitious?
Was he superstitious? Did he keep a journal? Was he into, I don't know,
The occult?
the occult? I didn't want to say that to be.
Was he a
presumptuous,
Capricorn?
Just
No, that doesn't sound like a Capricorn.
Well, good.
Sounds like a Cancer.
I honestly don't know.
That's
As
okay.
far as strange habits, things of that nature, the man liked business, the man liked golf.
sounds like a man.
I'll be honest,
Sounds Scottish.
he was one of my more boring friends, but he was, as far as I knew it, a good man.
Boring is safe.
So they say. But, yeah,
Okay.
it's
Well,
not to my knowledge. Crystal seems willing to consider some things that I would not normally.
mhm.
I will say that. It is under her behest that we are employing people with knowledge of things
Yes.
parapsychological, perhaps.
Are you religious?
Sure.
Were you asking the room in general, or did you mean Mr. Kirschbaum?
I meant Mr. Kirschbaum, but
I
you can
apologize.
answer the question as well. Are you religious?
Oh, no, not at all. Raised that way, but the world around me made it quickly very clear.
Hmm.
Well, Mr. Kirschbaum, what I will say to you, and the reason why I asked that question, is if you are religious, I would, and I kind of like lean close, and I would like to kind of like I would like to grab his hand a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, he allows
I grab
it.
I grab his hand, I look him in the eyes, and I say, there are worlds out there, unfathomable worlds, and things that do not make sense. So pray to your God for your friend Arthur, because there's power in that. And then I remove his hand from my hand.
Lorelei is just staring Charlotte down very analytically.
Mhm.
Well, Pauline will have the information there for you, and Ms. Danforth will meet you in Dundee.
I've got a question. One last question for you.
Yeah.
If I need to get something problematic across the ocean, you've got the money for that.
Now hold on.
Within reason.
I'm sorry.
If we're going to be a party to this, what kind of problematic?
Yes, we can step outside. I mean, well, do
I
you
would
have-
rather know if we are going to be working together.
I will leave it up to you if you'd like to know.
An
Yeah.
atomic
possible.
bomb.
Are we transporting drugs?
Well, no. Why would I do that? I could
Grenades?
get plenty. I could get plenty in England. I don't need those either. They've got
And
those in
what
England
is it?
as well.
So,
Well, I
There's
don't
a
know.
weapon.
Again, I asked you earlier about firearms. Are you familiar with a Thompson?
Who?
Yes.
Well,
A submachine gun, yeah.
it's a rather well-made
Oh my god.
firearm made here in America, and we don't have many of them over in the UK.
I see.
As I understand it, the UK weapons restrictions are pretty tight, specifically
They are.
if you're not a naturalized or if you're not a citizen.
Correct. Which is why I asked
I
if
may
you
know
had the
someone.
money.
I may know someone.
What?
Oh.
I'm from
Oh,
the
you-
UK. I'm British.
Well, yes, I'm not going to assume that, like, you know somebody who could sell guns.
I know a
Lorelei.
lot of people. Listen, when you work in estate sales of very wealthy people, you get to meet a lot of people who do a lot of very silly things.
Well, that makes sense.
And prepare for very specific contingencies, which is what I'm attempting to do.
There are a few survivalists out there, it's true. Very strange.
I
wealthy
also
people.
think Ms. Danforth may be able to help you out on that end of things as well.
Understood.
In fact, stay back for a moment, Mr. O'Reilly.
No, O'Reilly, but
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly's fine.
O'Reilly.
Yes, O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
It's fine. Just call me the Shillelagh.
Diarmud. Yeah, all right. Yeah, just ladies, Pauline will be with you.
Sure.
Okay. Great. Thank you. We'll find him.
The door closes. I was told you know how to be discreet.
I do.
I'll level with you. I don't know how all this looks once you're actually looking at it up close. But Arthur's son, Crystal's stepson, Gordon, he never wanted his dad to move up there. He blames his stepmother for even dragging his dad up there to begin with. He swears she must have something to do with this. I don't see it. But a man of your expertise, I think you should have all the facts.
I appreciate that. So, who do you answer to?
Who do I answer to?
Indeed.
My
Here.
clients.
Who's hiring you right now?
I am hired by the trust and estate of Arthur Macmillan. Currently in
I
control.
understood.
Currently under the control of his wife, Crystal Macmillan.
I think I understand. Well, Mr. Kirschbaum, I appreciate your kindness and your brevity.
I
think
appreciate
you've,
your professionalism.
matched me with competent individuals. That's new for me, so thank you.
I appreciate you saying. Good luck. Godspeed.
God has nothing to do with it. And he walks out the door. As he enters the other room, the rest of you, as he walks by you, making his way straight to the door, you get a sense of cherry pipe tobacco, whiskey, and a mixture of coffee.
Interesting, man.
Do you think?
Oh, he comes back in the door. Hey,
Hello. We were
I've
just.
got a car. Did you want to ride with me?
Sure.
Sure. I think it would be good for us if we are working together to know each other. I can tell my driver to head home.
Sure.
Shall we go get some coffee?
Yes, that sounds great. Also,
I know I love
I
his
could
cafe.
use an Irish coffee for sure.
Oh, I think that Cedric does. It's a French cafe, but I think Cedric does do Irish.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui. Toi aussi?
Oui.
Oh, yeah. We're just asking if we speak French to each other, Doctor.
Oh,
That's all.
I was getting it through body language and context clues.
Oh, okay. I just don't want you to feel left.
Honestly, thank you so much.
Yes.
May I say, your whole, your energy, like your visage is quite striking. You, yes, you seem very competent based on your posture. I've been at home alone a lot. I've been this is my first outside thing in a little bit. So sorry. It's
No,
rusty.
don't apologize. I enjoy flattery as much as anyone else. Lucky to have you along with us, Doctor. I do want to talk to you, however. You in there.
Mhm.
We should go in the hall. She gives a sideways
The
glance.
hall?
Yeah, Pauline is definitely looking up at you, quite annoyed as she continues working over her typewriter.
So
Sorry,
sorry. We are talking literally over her. She's sitting. We are
Leaned
flanking her
over.
desk, having this conversation.
Sorry, Pauline, we'll get out
I'm
of the way. Lovely nail
so
polish
sorry.
color, by the way.
Beautiful, beautiful red striking. Let's go to your car.
Have a nice day.
Hi, Pauline.
It's a car conversation, really.
She's a Virgo.
Oh.
Anyways, as we're walking out into the hall, down to the elevator, wherever. Doctor,
Yes.
what you said in there about there being other worlds. Have you perhaps been through something or seen something?
Well, that's very, haven't we all, Lorelei, haven't we all been through things and seen things?
Sure. I
was in the war.
You were in the war.
the way that you spoke, it sounded a little bit more supernatural.
Aye.
I see. Well, I
You don't have to tell me if you're uncomfortable. I just
it's
very nosy person.
no, you're not nosy at all. And honestly, I when I have said some stuff, it's very it's jarring, and we're new friends, and perhaps we've all been through things, and are you interested in the occult, Lorelei? Is that what I'm picking up?
I am part of my well, between the two of you and I only, strictly.
Yes.
I believe I've been summoned to this duty because I am an amateur fortune teller and I run seances for my wealthy friends, but a lot of it is just party tricks, truly. I was a skeptic,
Mhm.
and I had an incident that perhaps has changed my mind, but I'm not sure. I'm still processing it. So I have been, yes. And as a woman who runs many estate sales and sells many very interesting things, you find some interesting things in the older generation's belongings. So I know that there are many things out there unexplained, but I'm curious what your involvement might be.
Well, let's just say I it's been a hard year for me personally. I watched a colleague die
Oh.
in in a way that I am not comfortable processing aloud. But it has led me to believe that the world is very complicated and there are darker things that are scarier than any of us. But we can sometimes be a conduit for those that lurk in the dark.
Like the Spanish flu, for instance.
Yeah, sort of like the Spanish flu. It
Can't
really
see
wiped
it
out
and it
so
kills
many.
ya.
Yeah,
Sure.
honestly, that's a fantastic comparison. Yes, it is like
Yes.
it spreads. It's a thing. Darkness spreads.
So does
And-
madness.
And what about you, Diarmud? Do you
What about
have
me?
any? I don't know if I am to gosh, Bennett. He said he's drawn here for a reason. I am a doctor who maybe has seen things. Lorelei is an estate like so you are also
Antiquarian.
Antiquarian. That is the name for that.
Antiquarian amateur spiritualist.
Antiquarian amateur spiritualist. And you? What about you?
Military
What is
man.
Have you killed people other than war? Can I ask
of
that?
course. Yeah. Yeah, I've
Are you a
killed- Oh, you
hitman?
mean other than war?
Other than
Hey.
war, I wanted to specify because I assume,
Well,
but I also don't want it. War is different.
Does war ever end?
No.
It does when you leave the battlefield.
No, it does not.
No. The battlefield changes.
Excuse me? Does?
As
We
a
are
doctor,
on the
shouldn't you know the
battlefield
battlefield
now.
of the mind?
Oh, yes. But the battlefield of the mind is also the garden of the mind, is the temple of the mind, is the heartbeat. There's a fountain of the mind.
Wow, you have a very optimistic view.
Sometimes temples become battlefields. Sometimes gardens become battlefields.
Hmm. So, you are still in war, is what I'm hearing. Diarmud.
Well, when the war ends, then I'll not be in war anymore.
In the war up here.
Sure.
Interesting. I'm sorry.
You haven't left your home much, Doctor.
Okay, we are really interrogating each other, aren't we?
Oh, I'm only
This
turning
is
the
so fun. I'm gonna roll
magnifying
down the
glass
window.
around.
Put my head out the window.
And as this conversation continues on in an awkward cadence with occasionally oversharing and occasionally loaded silences, the three of you spend a little more time together on this day at trying to get the bearing of each other and sort of learning more about each other, even though each of you seems to have things you're saying, things you're not saying. About 24 hours later, though, you all boarded the RMS Coronia, bound for Glasgow, Scotland on a 5-day journey. The ship itself is quite imposing, multiple decks, towering smokestacks, lifeboats lined up along the upper levels. Your first-class tickets came with one private room each, and you dined on multi-course meals of the finest quality. Those brave enough to venture outside were accosted by biting winds and the occasional ice and snow flurries. But as you each see New York City leaving behind you on the horizon, you each have a sense of discovery, of potential, of worry, perhaps, before you quickly go back inside. The files given to you by Pauline are well organized, and if you choose, you can further familiarize yourself with certain facts of the case. But the days pass quickly. I want to move us through here, just kind of passing in through this travel on the boat. You enjoy your first class accommodations. And then on the fourth morning of your journey, Lorelei, on your way back from breakfast, passing a large bank of windows looking to the calm waters off the north side. The mist is heavy that morning. The water's blanketed in a thick, pale fog. Large chunks of ice are ominously visible, bobbing along in the water, but the ship you're on speeds smoothly past. Until your eyes catch something else. Almost easy to miss amid the ice and the fog. The skeletal remains of a ship. Ice clinging to the hull, tilting dangerously off to one side, the dark water lapping at its edges. It seems to be pulling you towards it, not physically, but you can't seem to shake your eyes off it. This wrecked ship in the ice and fog. I want you to make our first sanity roll for me.
Okay. Remind me what I'm gonna do, please.
I'm going to roll a D100.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
what is your, and tell me what you roll and tell me what it is under or over your sanity score.
It's an 80
Oh,
And I believe that's about 15 over my sanity.
with your sanity of 65. So that is a failure.
Okay.
You stand there at these windows. You're going to take a small amount of sanity damage as you see this ship drifting out in the water. You take 1 point of sanity damage.
Okay.
And without even knowing it, your hands go to your mouth and and your fingertips press against the cold glass, leaving streaks on the window. As for a moment you see this ship.
Can I see the name on the ship?
No.
Okay.
It's hundreds of miles. In the middle of one of the largest oceans in the world. Diarmud.
I put my hand in my pocket to see if I get any kind of feeling from the planchette.
No.
Okay.
Diarmud. You enter the corridor behind, and you see the stark white, ashen face of your new friend, Lorelei, looking out into the window with eyes a mile wide. You're muted.
Lorelei, are you all right?
Do you see
You
it?
look like you've seen a ghost.
Diarmud, do you see it?
Wait, what? To see what?
The ship.
I look out the window.
Roll a spot hidden.
Okay. 100.
You roll a fumble? First episode fumble! Wow! Now, this is not exactly the highest of stakes.
It's
On a
just to
spot
find
hidden.
something.
Wow.
Ugh.
You roll a fumble. And as you look out, Lorelei's breath has completely fogged up the glass. And there's nothing to see. It's almost as if she's looking through it in this moment. She seems her hand gripping the railing. But no, you see nothing. You see fogged glass.
I'll sort of wipe it with my arm and just see into the dark, obviously.
Lorelei, it's gone. As he wipes
I-
away the fog.
Don't see anything but the night.
Never mind. When you look at her, you can tell that she's very close to tears. She's shaking a little bit. And definitely, as someone who has been in combat situations, you recognize someone going
Right.
through a PTSD
Right.
incident.
He pulls a flask from his jacket and offers it. It helps me.
She takes like 2 shots worth.
Impressive.
Girl.
Thank you. Needed that.
You've seen things.
Wouldn't say seen. Heard. Dreamt.
Yes.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, he seems to stare off a little bit when you say that and catches himself. Did I hear correctly that you collect antiques?
Yes, I'm an antiquarian. I have an antique dealing business, and I run estate sales for some of the wealthier folk in the UK and now New York. We've expanded.
How did you come to learn French?
Through my antiques dealing, It was important. There are a lot of expats in the UK. You'd be surprised.
The French do love their antiques as well.
Oh, yes. They have some of the
Quite
best.
so, indeed. Second only to the Italians, if you ask me. Lorelei, how did you get here? In
by
this
car?
moment. Well, I'm not being literal, like our German friends are.
I
often.
figured I was being humorous.
I see.
What do you mean here?
Well, paint a picture for me. How does someone like you end up on a mission like this?
I wish I knew. I'm not sure why I'm here. Spiritual
The doctor makes
information
sense to me. I
Yes.
make sense. The outdoors woman makes sense. I'm trying to fit you in, and it's hard.
I honestly don't know. I wish I knew, and I wish I'd had time to ask Bennett. But perhaps there is some thing that we were not told. I'm hoping the situation is that there is some item in the house that I may be of use, or perhaps I'm there to help with his estate. I'm not sure.
And forgive me, I don't know much about fortune telling. Is it a crystal ball? Is it cards?
No, it's
just
cards.
Out of thin air, cards.
It's
I see.
cards, and it's a party trick. It's more being able to read the person you're talking to, and tell them what they want to hear, and give very vague, overarching answers.
Like magic.
Yes, there's quite a bit of sleight of hand. I have done some seances as well, and I would be lying if I said I hadn't experienced things that made me reconsider how much of a party trick it is.
This may be a shocking question to you as well. Have you ever seen a dead body?
I don't believe so, no. Why?
Well, I've generally run into two things that happen when people see a dead body. And I'm just preparing myself in case we happen to run into one and I need to handle one of two of those individuals.
I see. Well, I hope I'll be of help. I'm not sure. Honestly, I feel a little out of my depth here, but...
You mentioned you've read Keats.
Oh, yes! My husband was a very big fan of Keats, very big poet.
I enjoy Ode to the Nightingale myself.
It is a beautiful one.
It is indeed. Well, Lorelei, look, if you see whatever it is you see again, let me know.
Thank you. I will. If you see a shipwreck out there at any point, you let me know.
Well, I'm sure wasn't that long ago the I'm sure you read it in the news, quite a hubbub. The Titanic. Man's hubris, eh?
Comes for us all.
Terrible tragedy. I'm hoping we don't succumb to the same. Hubris, I mean.
Totally disassociates at that point. You can tell she's elsewhere mentally.
Got it. I now quietly just sort of nod and make my escape exit.
The rest of your journey is unremarkable. It's still quite pleasant, of course. Diarmud, that night, out your window of your private quarters, you were able to see the lights of Ireland as the ship moved past it from the south, circling around it to reach the west side of Scotland. But the next day you landed safely in Glasgow. And you found your way to the train station where first-class tickets awaited you to take you all the way to Dundee on the northeast coast of Scotland.
Before we embark,
Yes.
I'd like to say real quick
Mm-hmm.
that in traveling with Charlotte, you notice that she is like clockwork. She goes to get breakfast at a certain time. She socializes for precisely 20 to 30 minutes and then goes back into her room. You see her at meals only. And when you see her, she's very well dressed. But also when you see her is really it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lorelei is also, at this point, very much keeps to herself, and you can tell she does not like being on a ship.
Oh, buddy.
You disembark quickly and officiously on the afternoon of the 5th day in Glasgow. You arrive. And Glasgow was a very industrial city at this. It still is to this day. The beautiful scenery of Scotland on all sides, while Glasgow, for the most part, seems as modern as could be. It's quite a contrast between the seeming fairy tale storybook landscape of Scotland surrounding what seems to be a thoroughly modern city. You disembark the Coronia. Thank the wonderful staff and hospitality that took care of you while you were there. And you made your way to the train station. It's not a long train ride, only a couple hours. So your first class tickets, there weren't sleeper cabins or anything that of need, but you were able to have a meal and be comfortable enough on your ride as Scotland speeds by you in the night or in the waning hours. You see small towns, rolling hills, green fields, and the lochs. Quaint villages with church steeples visible in the distance. Crossing rivers such as the Tay and the Forth. The rhythmic clatter of wheels on the tracks. Hiss of steam escaping. So much to take in as you all sit, your new friends, if you will, knowing that you're closer and closer to your destination. Waiting at the Dundee train station, standing alongside a very nice automobile, is the rather easy to notice form of one Eden Danforth. Eden, on this cold night in late December, you stand outside waiting for your contacts to arrive. You've been given your instructions by the Lady Milligan and told to serve as a scout, a tracker, if you will. The Lady Milligan does not know Arthur Macmillan, but when someone of his stature and his public standing moves to her neck of the woods, she makes it her business to know. And so when the calls rang out for help, she came to you. So you sit here waiting for these 3 arrivals from America. And as you see this rather odd silhouette of these 3 people coming to find you, why don't you tell them what they see?
You see, and most of the reason that she is hard to miss is her height. I'm unsure of the average height of an American at that point in time, an American woman at that time. But she stands pretty tall, closer to 6 feet. And with her back turned to you, you would assume possibly the trunk of a tree struck by lightning. She is wide, she is gigantic, she is big. as she faces you, you see that she's got her hair up and out of her face. It's important for her to do her work uninhibited. You see her features are kind of stone, staring out at you, not letting any of the cold get to her. You couldn't see a trace of discomfort in her presence here. Heavy coat, kind of a worker's coat, beautiful red and blue, I'll say, like red and blue pattern. Dirt and soot, even little patches of grass and hay all over it. I think she's wearing a black, almost like a fisherman's sweater, very, very thick, very, very heavy. She's wearing not trousers, but like almost like I think they're called like trews. They're like these like pattern pants that are a little bit less form-fitting than trousers. Thick boots, but she looks like someone with a footstep that makes an impression. Very, very heavy, has a lot of gravity to her. And if you could see her hands, as of right now, they're kind of in her pockets. Or I'll say that they're behind her back as she waits very formally for you. If you saw her hands, they are heavy and calloused, very similar to our other friend here. And I think that as she waves you all down, you see a brass signet ring that sits on her thumb.
Lorelei is immediately drawn to this person. She walks right over very confidently with her bags in hand. Are you Eden?
In fact, that'd be me. She leans down and grabs your bags and starts loading them.
Oh no, you don't have to. Please let me. I'm used to it by now.
It's important that I make sure you're taken care of as part of my job.
Thank you. That's very kind. May I ask a silly question, if I might?
Well, you have to give me your name first. I have to make sure you're
Lorelei Shepherd.
Ask on.
What's your zodiac sign? I want to know if I'm right.
Everyone always... I don't like signs. It
Sure.
defines someone, and then people, they won't buy you a drink because they're like, you're this sign, you're that sign.
I just want to know. I'm just curious. You don't have to. I just think you're an Aquarius.
Eden turns around and puts your bags in the car.
I was right. I always like Aquarius. That's how I knew.
Well,
the city of Dundee is quite industrial at this time, and Eden almost looks a little out of place, dressed in the garb of an outdoorswoman, a huntswoman. Obviously, someone who's very used to dealing with the grounds of a wealthy landowner of the area. But Dundee itself is on the eastern edge of Scotland. But this train station again seems thoroughly modern, and the drive, however, Eden, will take you out quite remote. So knowing that, and you all would have been able to look at the map, knowing that once you head out to Crowwood Hall, you're going to be pretty isolated. If there are things you need to do while you're here, you can. But this is the city, and the closest nearby city, certainly. But yes, it is, we'll say, early evening on December 23rd. Or no, the 24th. It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas. Is there a mailbox nearby that I can see one outside the station, maybe?
Easily enough.
Okay, I think Lorelei would have prepared a letter for her pseudo pen pal.
Okay.
Julius.
Yep.
Just to give him an update on where she is, because I think they probably have standing dinner plans.
Very nice. Okay.
And she probably wouldn't have had time to let him know, so she just pops a letter into a mailbox and then scurries back to the car.
Got it. Okay.
Eden.
yes.
Apologies, I'm not much for words. My name's Diarmud. My understanding is you are the outfitter of our band here.
I would say so, yes.
I know there are certain weapons that are not allowed without a permit. I'm wondering if I feel like I've got a gut feeling that we're gonna need a bit of
Something
weaponry.
heavy.
Yeah.
Well, what are you thinking? I can get most things. I've got a few things myself, if you need to borrow anything.
I see. Well, I brought my automatic. I've got the 38. But I'm looking for something like a grease gun or a Thompson.
A Thompson submachine gun would be very difficult to get here in the UK. The UK weapons restrictions are pretty tight. Rifles, handguns, things of that nature, without much issue, particularly if you live here and have someone to be able to grease the wheels, as perhaps your benefactor would. Weird fact, I shared this with Ron before the show. Weird fact, a shotgun was not considered a firearm in England and Scotland in 1922.
What did you think it was?
I don't know.
I think it has something to do with the rate of fire.
A paperweight.
It's that, I think it's also considered something with regards to specifically hunting.
Yes.
Because like a bow and arrow, it was seen as a hunting device for a very long time.
Correct.
Strictly.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, but that is just
Most shotguns were not automatic at that point.
So shotgun is there is no permit needed for a shotgun.
Well, seems bad.
Call of Cthulhu, weird fact.
Yeah.
Time period fact.
Learning more every day.
More referring military weaponry, but I understand we're in a odd place where that might be a bit harder than it would be if we were in America.
I can see what I can rustle up, but for now,
mostly just making sure that we're well equipped.
absolutely.
When it comes to rifles, shotguns, and handguns, I think the Lady Milligan would be fully outfitted, and you, as a hunting expert, would certainly have no issue with most of that.
Yeah, we can check out the weapons once we get to
Right.
the house, but you shouldn't need anything.
I hope not.
Hi, Eden, from the back.
Turns around,
Hello.
looks down.
Yes, I am small, actually. My size is smaller than an average human girl.
What a weird way of saying it.
An average
I
human
feel
girl.
like that was a very normal and non-alien way that I presented this.
Americans are weird.
Yeah, that's also true. So, speaking of things we need and don't need, you are very familiar with this house, and what do you know of what we're walking into?
Well, very little. Unfortunately, the person who hired me
What
knows.
is your...
Yeah.
I live in a city, and I've always kind of been in a city. What is your job? Like, what do you do?
Anything outside, hunting, planting, garnering animals for Lady Milligan's hunt, particularly keeping track of the sun, keeping track of the moon, keeping track of the weather, anything like that. Tracking, if need be, if animals get lost, bringing them back home, that kind of thing.
You're a human almanac.
I try.
Were you trained in the military?
No, there's actually a school specifically for, or academy, I guess, specifically for groundskeepers, but I would say I wasn't exactly trained there either.
Morgan,
Yes.
would I know Lady Milligan at all through my dealings with like lords and ladies estate sales?
I think you would certainly have heard of her. She is one of the few ladies in the Scottish House of Lords and Ladies. She is Baroness of the Castle of Downey. Flora Milligan, the Lady Flora Milligan.
Okay.
This conversation, and Eden, it's about a 30-minute ride to Crowwood Hall from here. So that can certainly be had as you are loading up the car. It's gotten a bit dark.
Yeah.
In terms of what you know itself, you would have certainly also known that the golf club specifically had sat abandoned for quite some time. It was abandoned. It was started, developed, and then abandoned about a decade earlier. So there was a good deal of local news when Macmillan seemed that he would renovate it and get it back up into working order.
Okay. Would I think that we need candles or lights of any kind in the dark here?
Depending, I don't think so. I don't think you would think that. You have been told to take the people to arrive at Crowwood Hall tonight, which is the manor where Crystal Macmillan and the staff are currently living. Everyone is living there at the moment. The golf Thistledown, the golf club, is nearby, and there is no one there currently. If you wanted to head there tonight, you would have to perhaps ask. You'd probably need the keys, and you're unsure right now what the situation would be as far as electric lighting. Electric lighting is pretty common. It's the 1920s. Yeah. It's not. It's modern enough.
Okay. Well, we have to get on the road. It's going to be about a 30-minute ride. If anybody has anything else they want to do before we get going, you're going to be kind of far away from the city for quite a while.
Can we head to Thistledown?
I'm sorry. As somebody who's not been to not cities a lot, what does far away from the city mean exactly? Like, I can't go to the general.
Than it would be in New York.
Mostly less light.
Less light.
A bit darker.
What about amenities?
Amenities.
Yes.
If it's in the house, you can have it. If it's not in the house, you have to drive 30 minutes to get it. That's pretty much it.
I see.
Well said.
That's what I was going to say. Well said.
Yeah, okay. So
is there like a little general store at the train station?
I mean, certainly one accessible in Dundee. Dundee, you can get most things.
Mm-hmm. So, the reason I'm asking, and I know it sounds like, wow, she's a doctor, she's rich. I'm not anymore. Okay. Instead, I've not really been away from people. It feels secluded where we're going. It feels far, and I have not experienced that. Help is always within, running distance, and this is 30 minutes in a car. So I'm nervous. I'm just gonna say that aloud. I am nervous. It's gonna be dark because there's no street lights. So I'm just noting that is all. Okay.
You'll have us. You won't be alone. I grew up in this countryside. You'll be fine. It's quite beautiful. Very serene.
Up here? I mean, not here, but like in where there's no lights.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
The country is very beautiful. If you give it a chance, I think you'll like it. I must find.
Just be careful of the bears.
Excuse me. The
there
what?
aren't often. Don't.
Bears?
There are not
Yes.
often bears. Don't worry about them. You will not need to worry about them.
Well,
until you face a bear, then you need
what
to
do I
worry
do?
about it.
yes. Well, nothing.
Okay.
Quite
That
right.
seems bad.
I do think that you have a disadvantage of showing up at night. Unfortunately, you can't see that the shadows aren't that deep, but tomorrow you'll see. Maybe it'll alleviate some fear.
So, as I was requesting, since you asked where we'd like to go, I'd kind of like to go to where we think our friend disappeared, and I'd
Oh,
like
right
to
now-
do
right
it
away,
before
right
people
now?
know we're here.
Well, I would like to see it too, but may I make a request to stop at a general store first?
Of course.
Oh, by all means, I could use a sandwich.
We can stop at the store, but in order to get to Thistledown, I unfortunately have to ask the lady of the house. It's quite locked.
Well, that's not a problem.
Let's not break in our first
No, we
night.
want to make a good impression. We are here to help, but it's good to know that if needed, you.
Let's not be
So
breaking
let me
in
share
when
some
needed.
information that perhaps you didn't get before I did. I'm thinking there's foul play afoot.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I think there's foul play afoot. I think someone made this man disappear.
Well, yes.
And I think the best way
probably.
to figure that out is to surprise people and make decisions that they wouldn't normally think you'd make.
So we're breaking the law that fast? I thought it would. at
Are
least
we
be a
breaking the
couple
law?
days.
We're taking the outdoors lady, who is supposed woman,
her name is
excuse me, who
You're trespassing,
well,
breaking
with
in
Eden,
without a key.
They don't need to know we're there. I'm not going to.
I'm
let
not going to
everyone
tell
know
them,
it's the
but
dark. It's in
Listen,
the dark.
If we go, nobody breaks in. Anything you can see from outside in, all good. But unfortunately, permission tomorrow is very different than trespassing tonight. I think it'll be much easier for you to check in tomorrow, look around, explore everything. But I do think that I'm here to help you. I don't know much about what's going on, but if you think that going there is a good move, I'm not opposed to driving. It just will get quite dark before we get back home.
You would know
Well,
that
it's got
actually we're
flashlights.
supposed to be staying at Crowwood Hall there at the
Yeah,
with
the
the
manor.
hospitality of Crystal.
Yeah. They will be waiting for us.
we are.
I see.
So,
We're
I mean, we are
expected.
expected, but they
Yeah,
don't.
it makes an
we
interesting
know.
point.
And I will say Eden sees Diarmud like that thought process. I think that you noticed that there definitely is respect there for that. She is here to help, and you see that she almost tried to have a passive, like, take a step back from this, but you saying that, she's like, okay, interesting. She's not opposed to it.
I'm just trying to. I don't think unnatural things happened here. I think the most logical answer is probably the right one, Occam's razor and whatnot. But I'm not opposed to there being something that I can't explain. There are wavelengths in which I cannot see. So I think mostly my thought was, if someone who is involved with this man's disappearance knows we're here, they may try to clean up the spot or do something that they wouldn't know to do if they didn't know we were here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now hang on, because police have scoured it already.
I don't trust the police.
Sure,
Honestly, you
neither
shouldn't.
do I, but
yes.
it's not as if the place has not been gone through already many times, and it
Fair.
has been quite a bit since he has gone missing, so
There.
at this point, it's probably already been cleaned up.
I will say this: you know that Thistledown, Eden, you would know this, and perhaps you all, since reading through the information, you would have that Thistledown and Crowwood Hall are only about a mile away from each other.
So technically, we could, pop in, pop out quickly.
Well,
You
yeah,
could
I
go
think
to
we
the
get
house
there.
and maybe
Make an early
introduce yourself. Yes,
and make an early bedtime, perhaps.
I'm not condoning it, but
Well, what I was suggesting actually was quite the opposite. If we popped over, looked at the thing, as Diarmud mentioned, pop in, pop out. If it's only a mile away, then perhaps it's only 10 minutes. 10 minutes late, with a little more information gained, could be valuable. But I will say it is getting dark, and that is... We are just to say everything out loud. We are going to a spot in which a disappearance or a murder took place, and it will be pitch black. So,
I do have a flashlight. I did indicate to you. I have one of those.
I want to go to a general store to get a flashlight.
And that was what I was going to say, is we could be late because Lorelei had to get too many things at the general store.
I would say, I would say, this is a nice thing Call of Cthulhu gives you. Anything an investigator, like your inventory doesn't have to be fully stocked. If you say, would I have a flashlight? I believe someone prepping for this would have a flashlight.
Okay.
Especially being a military man.
Yes.
And flashlight's not necessarily what I'm concerned
If there was
about.
something really specific, I might make you roll a luck for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a flashlight, no, that makes sense. You're honest.
I was going to go get one for the doctor, too, because she seems scared of the dark.
I'm not scared of the dark. I'm afraid of the things in the dark. There's a
The flashlight will help! You can see into the dark.
Makes sense.
I'm not trying to push us in one direction or another. I'm just thinking out loud, if you will.
We meet in the middle. We do a compromise. How about we stop there, look in the windows, do a quick survey, and then go to sleep. We go to the map.
All right.
Yes?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. But best of both worlds?
Sure.
Okay.
Stop driving that way.
Yeah, all of this conversation has been in the very nice automobile that you've been driving, and I will say, Charlotte, it is very dark. It is farmland and forest. And even today, in the year 2024, that would be very dark at night. Particularly 100 years ago, it would be exceptionally dark at night. No light pollution in the air around. The stars probably visible in beautiful way, but the cold air just surrounds you in the car, and you cannot see much besides the occasional passing tree and shadows.
Lorelei can probably tell that you're a little nervous, so she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out something and she says, "Do you want to hear about this crystal?"
Yes, please. And she is like small. Like somehow Charlotte is smaller. Like she seems just smaller.
Lorelei just goes on and on about this crystal, trying to distract you, and then she pulls out another one and she's like, "This one is one of my absolute favorites. Put it in your hand. It's nice and smooth. It's a
Ooh.
beautiful stone.
It's
It looks like
carnelian?
Yes, but don't eat it."
I won't. Oh,
just
I've
doing
had to
anything
remove things from so
distracting.
many people. No.
Oh, that's fair.
Yes. Yeah. Ugh.
The car bumps
Duh.
Oh,
as Eden turns onto the road leading towards the Thistledown Golf Club. The road is showing heavy years of neglect. Deep ruts created by heavy trucks moving to and from the site. The road is also overgrown with tall grass and shrubs that you can see through the faint headlights of the car in front of you. It is not far, though. Once you're on the private road that seems to lead towards the club, where you can see the clubhouse rising over the treetops in the distance. You see the shadows of a distant building. A Scottish baronial mansion, complete with turrets at each corner and crenulations atop each wall. Through the rusting gates, as you pull up, there is a gate that is hanging open and leading up the walk to this beautiful, dark, half restored, half aged manor. Out front, Eden, you see a good place to pull up and park, because parked just outside the gate is a cream-colored Crossley 3-liter, a very expensive car. You all would know, those of you who had been given the information by Pauline, that this was Macmillan's car. This was the car that he was seen driving up in the day he disappeared. Formerly immaculate vehicle looks the worse for wear. It's been here over a month. Bird droppings, fallen leaves, so on.
Diarmud tries the door of the car.
Sure.
Oh, you
You're
got
out.
out of that car so fast. Sprinted out of the vehicle. My God.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
The door is locked of the car. But if you peer inside, or with your flashlight?
Click on a flashlight and peer inside, yeah.
You find nothing out of place or unusual about the car besides the fact that it just looks like it's been abandoned here by the side of the road.
I want to take my flashlight and go up to one of the windows at the front of the club and see if I can see anything inside.
She's left the car as well. Great.
Don't forget you have a flashlight.
I know, I do. It's not the dark. It's the things in the dark.
You can stay in the car. It's fine.
I am currently in the car, but then I will get out when it seems appropriate.
Okay. I'll tell you if I get murdered.
God, she gets out of the car.
As you hear the of the rusting gates, Charlotte, as you watch Lorelei step through them, heading towards this shadowed Scottish manor house, with the grounds stretching on far beyond it that seem to stretch on forever. That's where we're going to take intermission. We're gonna get spooky right away. I love it. Let's do it. Thank you so much, friends. I love this cast of characters already. We got ourselves to Scotland already, and we're 5 days in. Hey, and our first sanity roll. I love it.
Hey.
It's fine. Sure.
It's fine. We'll be back shortly, friends. Okay, we'll see you in a few. Bye.
Bye.
You fools! You'll never defeat me. Now face the wrath.
Why is he so hot? What?
I think it's just that epic miniature. It's really doing a lot for me, too.
Yeah, maybe. But he's also kinda...
Silence! As I was saying, face the wrath of my metal army, crafted here in my Eldritch Foundry.
Dude, where'd you get all these minis?
I'm subscribed to Eldritch Foundry's Eldritch Unlimited with unlimited STL downloads. Now, can we get back to...
Eldritch Foundry's amazing! I never thought I'd have the perfect mini for my demon-born, half-elemental, catfolk, warlock, bard multi-class with a bunny wizard familiar, but here she is. Thank you so much for printing her.
Yeah. Sure, Jen. No problem. Now face my wrath! You fools! You'll never defeat me. Now face the wrath.
Why is he so hot?
What?
I think it's just that epic miniature. It's really doing a lot for me, too.
Yeah, maybe. But he's also kinda...
Silence! As I was saying, face the wrath of my metal army, crafted here in my eldritch foundry.
Dude, where'd you get all these minis?
I'm subscribed to Eldritch Foundry's Eldritch Unlimited with unlimited STL downloads. Now, can we get back to...
Eldritch Foundry's amazing! I never thought I'd have the perfect mini for my demon-born, half-elemental, catfolk, warlock, bard multiclass with a bunny wizard familiar, but here she is. Thank you so much for printing her.
Yeah. Sure, Jen. No problem. Now face my wrath!
Hello, friends. We are back. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the Scottish countryside,
Cultists.
our investigators were breaking and entering
No.
just to
we
see
haven't
what
done
was
that.
inside. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Good
something like
rhyme,
that.
but
Let's just see what the colors of the walls were. I just
are
want to
not-
know.
You are
Breaking
technically
in.
no. You are technically here under. I'll remind you. You are technically here under the behest of the owner of or the
Ooh.
the owner's wife certainly
Yeah.
of this of these grounds. So you have that going for you.
We're allowed to be here.
That being said, if we're going to get right into it, Diarmud is definitely trying to pop the trunk of this car.
Certainly. Okay.
Mm.
We'll do that in just a second. Lorelei,
Yeah.
you've pushed aside just gently enough to make your space enough for yourself of this rusty gate that leads into the grounds of this Scottish golf course and club that seems to stretch on for literally hundreds of yards, seemingly miles. The course is visible off to the right. Seemingly, I mean, you can't tell because it's the dark. I don't know how familiar she is with golf. But here and there, you can see rolling hills and things of, the various landscape details that one might see on a golf course.
Mhm.
But what's most direct of your attention in front of you is this clubhouse. And as I described it earlier, is really a renovated Scottish manor house. Make a spot hidden roll as you step through these gates.
Okie dokie. 50.
Over,
My
under.
spot hidden is a 60, so it's under.
It's a success.
Yay! Finally! God.
Even with a success, as you are feeling like on your toes, the most observant of things around you, snapping of branches, anything, you are looking off. You hear something off in the distance, off towards the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
You hear sharp pops. Pop, 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 pop. And then nothing. And you look towards the building. There's windows on the second floor, on the main floor. The windows look new, but you don't see anything else.
Do the pops sound like hunting rifles?
At first, you almost think they sound like firecrackers. but it's with a regular success, it's hard to tell.
Mhm.
Not gunfire, too fast. It sounds almost like a radio out of tune.
I'm going to turn my flashlight off
Mm.
and see if I see anything.
Sure.
And I'm going to start slowly walking in that direction. I don't want to reach the source of the sound, but I want to get close enough to maybe be able to see.
For anyone who is looking off, and I think, Charlotte, your eyes were trained on Lorelei, and the headlights of the car probably stretch a little bit further on. You watch, perhaps in horror, as your new friend starts to move off to one side, out of the path of the headlights and off towards the golf course.
And just
While
to
that's
clarify,
happening,
no one else hears the pops, right? No one else hears the pops.
No one else hears the pops. Diarmud.
Yeah.
You want to try a locksmithing check on the car?
Yeah, I'm not trying to hurt the car. I'm just trying to jimmy the lock a bit.
Sure.
All right. 34 under 61.
Nice. For regular success. You are able to... does he have a lockpick set, or
Yeah.
how does he? Okay, yes.
figured, yeah.
You are efficient at this sort of work, and
I do this a lot.
and with a little bit of it looks dirty and scuffed a bit right now, but this is a very fine automobile, and without much issue, you are able to pop the trunk. You find a spare tire. You find a tire iron, things of that nature.
I'm looking for. Sometimes rich cars like this have secret places to hide valuables. What's the other one? Not paraphernalia. Yeah, paraphernalia. That kind of stuff.
Sure.
So just looking for something like that.
Things hidden. Roll a spot hidden check.
Okay. Ooh, 30 under 30.
Just a flat, as good as you can get success. It takes a little bit. It's probably going to take you a couple minutes to really investigate and.
I'm not trying to hide it. I'm
sure, of course. But you don't find anything.
Okay.
Charlotte and Eden, what are you doing?
Is there a tire iron? Sorry.
Yes, there is.
I will take that.
Great.
Very smart. Oh, I was gonna say you go for it, Eden.
That sounded
Eden
like Otto.
it really did, actually.
Charlotte turned into Otto for a
That
second.
did sound like Otto.
Oh man.
Down.
Oh,
bro.
man. Hey guys. Sorry.
I miss little boy. I miss our small
There's
boy.
our little boy.
What game is this? Where are
We'll
we?
see him soon.
Eden is leaned against the trunk of leaned against the hood of the car.
Of your car, yeah. Or
yeah,
of the
of our
abandoned car. Okay.
I think of our car. I think I'm watching and trying to see what each of them goes to do, more for the purpose of analyzing, like, where do these people go? Like, what kind of questions are they asking, and what are they willing to do to get the answers?
Sure.
So I think once Diarmud, like, kind of already, like, automatically goes to pop the trunk, once again, kind of looking with, like, an impressed glance, but for the most part is really just watching, and I think that she notices that she's missing someone from the circus and, like, tries to find you.
Where'd you go?
One of my monkeys is gone!
They're gone.
My little circus creatures!
Leroy Jenkins!
There's only two. There's a third.
Wait. Excellent. Yes, I think it's not hard to see her after a moment, but there's definitely, like, wait, you do probably have a double take moment of where'd she go? Charlotte, are you still in the car, or what are you doing?
So, everybody's out of the car. Charlotte is in the car.
Refusing to get out.
Well, so, she is just watching in a little bit of horror as everyone is just wandering. She kind of, like, is fiddling with, like, her bow, and from under her shirt, she kind of pulls it out. You see a thin, dainty silver necklace, and on that necklace, the pendant is a key. It looks like a handcrafted ornate key with symbols, designs etched into it. And so in her moment of forced solitude, she is saying, okay, protect me, Hecate, goddess of darkness, she who walks with dogs, she who guides the way, she who is the goddess of crossroads. Envelop me in your darkness so that I may become of night in the way you are of night. Okay. And gets out of the car.
Yeah.
As you sit there in just a second before you get out of the car, roll a spot hidden check for me, and I'm going to let you do it with a bonus die.
Okay.
This works like advantage in D&D. So you're gonna roll it once, and then you're gonna re-roll the 10 value. So if you roll a 75, the 5 stays the same, but then you re-roll the 10 again,
7.
and you get to take the lower.
And this is spot hidden?
Yes.
That is so great that I can re-roll that. That is fantastic. That feels rude. It feels rude because it was exactly the same number. It feels like my dice weighted.
Okay. Wow. Okay. No, then.
But the dice want to tell a story, and that is a 99.
Your dice said absolutely not.
How? Wow. First session, guys. We've had 100, and now we've had a 99.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi's face is accurate.
This dice, fail with you, vanish.
Boy, didn't know you signed up for one of these parties, did you?
Help me.
It's just a spot hidden.
It's just a spot hidden.
In the darkness.
You have a moment where you finish this moment of prayer, whatever you would like to refer to it, and before you get out of the car, and as you take a deep breath, you look up and you think you see something off in the direction of the golf course, seeming to just wind in the trees, you lose track of Lorelei for a moment. You thought you saw her, but then your eyes and the glare as she left the headlights of the car, you're unable to see, but then it seems the wind has spun you around. And it's as if a violent windstorm came out of nowhere as you step out of the car.
That's not a good sign. Back into the car I go. Slam.
Lorelei.
Mm-hmm.
You know from your research that you read on your way here that this course was originally constructed in right around the turn of the century, completed around 1903.
Okay.
But then you know it closed shortly after. And then the outbreak of the war in the 1914, things of that nature, it was left to just completely overgrow and become nothing. But now, as you feel your feet touch the very well manicured grass, you can already get the sense of the restoration that has taken place. And whether or not you know a lot about golf, you're just simply able to tell that this has been brought back up to standard. And you are now walking on a very well manicured lawn.
You had said that the club looked
Yes.
kind of like a manor. Do we get any kind of information about if it was a manor house before it became a golf club?
It's a very good question.
Thank you.
Yes. Short answer. It was built. Where are you? It was built in the 1700s.
Okay.
Where are you? So much information, guys.
Life
My
of a DM.
gosh, it's only just all of history in front of me. Okay.
Not like it's a lot to remember.
What did I say? Okay, great. Yes. Okay. Yeah, but yes, this was originally a Scottish manor house that was then turned into a golf course, as I said, just after the turn of the 20th century. I promised to find all those specifics. I had them here in front of me, but I'm literally staring at encyclopedias of knowledge.
That's fair.
But yes, yeah.
Now, but Lorelei will make a note to herself to send a letter to some of her colleagues, maybe Professor Smith, to see if there's any information out there about the house before it was a golf course.
Sure, absolutely.
But she's gonna keep.
In terms of what you have now at this moment, you just have the basic history of it. Okay. No reports of anything besides what you know about what the workers dealt with while they were here.
Okay. I'm just going to keep going forward then.
Okay. You're still, as you were standing on the golf course, you're sort of walking alongside the building. And you saw the entrance to the front. You saw a door in the front that led straight from the gate where you walked through. As you're continuing along the golf course along one side, you do see a glass patio with another entrance. It is dark. It is completely dark inside. But you're able to see that there is another entrance along the side. Seemingly, closed doors. Everything looks closed up as well as you would see. But yes, you were able to take in all of that.
Okay.
The course stretches on in front of you. Off in the distance, you see a small hut. Off of seemingly what you would guess to be the halfway point of the golf course.
Okay.
But here at this moment, you're not hearing any further, what do you call it? Signs of that popping white noise, that static, as you stand here.
Okay, she's going to hang out in the dark for a second.
Okay.
Just primed to pick up on anything that's out here. And I think she's going to put her hand on the planchette in her pocket again, maybe just for comfort.
Sure.
Maybe hoping that she might get some kind of something out of it. She's not sure.
Diarmud, you've successfully searched through the trunk. You're muted, buddy. I just want you to be aware. But what are you doing now?
I think looking in the car and seeing the state of the trunk and what the car is in, I'm pretty sure I could technically break into the actual car, but it's early 1920s. I don't think there's a whole lot of glove boxes yet. All that kind of stuff is still a few years down the road to investigate. So I think I'll close the trunk, sort of jacket the tire iron, and just sort of realize that I have lost the plot outside of this particular car and start looking.
I mean, you definitely heard Charlotte. You heard the door open and
triumphantly, then immediately slam shut.
So
Eden
I'll
is
walk
still
right there with you.
Yeah.
I think Eden looks over at you and just kind of nods to Charlotte, who's just gotten back in the car.
Is she all right?
A bit scared.
Right. Well, where did Lorelei go?
Lost track of her.
And the door opens, and you hear murmuring under her breath. Well, I did make a Hippocratic oath. If somebody dies, and it probably is my fault, so I should probably find her. Hello. And I just sigh and slink into the darkness.
When you say slink into the darkness, where are you going?
I'm following. Actually, it's truly not slinking into the darkness. If I'm going to be real, it's following the beam of the headlight. I am following it. I'm in the dark part of the beam, but I'm using that as my guidepost.
Okay.
Because I don't really want to be in the dark. I just need to find somebody who is in the dark.
Right.
Who turned off their flashlight on purpose. Can you believe it?
Eden, Did you see Lorelei? I'm just gonna go, I guess, this way. The manor, yeah? The club? Is that where she went?
I lost track of her, but I'll follow you.
Sure. Doc, I
And
guess keep us in your eyesight.
Does it really mean it's my fault? What?
I'm gonna go find Lorelei. I'm just saying, keep within eyesight. Yeah?
Of
The light?
you?
Sure.
Okay.
Just so we know where you are. Don't go disappearing like Lorelei has, is what I'm saying.
I've got some seed in my pocket if you want to leave a trail behind you. Might help.
Oh. That's
Grimm's fairy tales are very
comforting, actually. Yeah. I'll take some seeds.
I reach in my pocket. It's very loose. It's loose seed. It's not.
I'm assuming it's not in a package. It is a handful of seeds which you're giving me. Yeah.
Put it in your hands.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bird.
It's weirdly not the first time this has happened at a Dungeon Run show. Giving out of seeds.
This is my favorite thing to give people is a handful of loose seeds. Actually.
Who knew?
Yep.
Is this your first time receiving the seeds?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
Thank you.
Glad to be the one.
Is all
Full
I'm
circle.
saying.
And then, I'll start
Charlotte
making my way
returns
towards
to
where
her eyes. Like she was kind of somewhere else, but she is with you now. That you handed her the seeds.
Yeah.
Diarmud, do you have your flashlight on?
Yes.
Okay. You step through the gate. It makes that rusty creaking sound that feels quite foreboding, but you have to get your way through as you continue on. And it's not difficult with your flashlight to, in the distance, you see a shadow of a familiar-looking shadowy silhouette standing maybe around the third or fourth hole of this golf course. Lorelei, roll another spot in, please.
Okie dokie. It's a 20 under 60.
Nice.
Nice.
Excellent.
Finally.
Several things happen as you're standing there kind of just getting the lay of the land specifically. You start to see as you walk throughout the course that each hole is labeled with little wooden stands. And you're standing around a course that says Naiad, 378 yards, par 4. But as you were looking around, you see an approaching light coming back from the way you came. And you see this light bobbing and cresting over hills heading your way. You think you even see possibly behind it the familiar silhouette of your friend Diarmud. But as you're looking in that direction, you also see another light off to one side of it, and another off to the other. And it's almost as if for a moment, several flashlights are moving in your direction. Motes illuminating brightly in the area, moving towards you, glowing steadily like brilliant little stars. They then start to move towards each other in a pattern, forming in almost constellations. It's as if you're looking at stars for a moment in this, and they are coming towards you.
She grips the planchette so hard it almost breaks the skin, and she just whispers, Waleed?
Make a sanity roll.
Okay. Oh, God. That's a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
You take no damage. Diarmud, you hear your friend call out softly a name that you don't recognize. And you are able to reach her, but you see she is standing holding this wooden planchette.
Is it the same look on her face that it was looking out the window on the ship?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Rachel, you tell me. This seems as if for a moment as if she was in a place of hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a little more hopeful. Definitely still sad. Definitely a kind of disassociation, but a little more.
But not
fleeting.
PTSD.
No, not
clearly.
PTSD.
Got it.
And as you look past and you have this moment of focus, as you were able to see your friend Diarmud seem to just almost push through these stars and they disperse.
No.
But as you watch one disperse and float past his shoulder and head over in that direction, you look up towards the manor house. And you see a shadow in the upstairs window.
In the golf course club or in the Crow?
No, Crowwood Hall is off. You don't
Too
is
far.
is
Okay.
not visible right now. Upstairs.
Okay.
Lorelei, are you all right?
You shouldn't run off alone.
Did you see anything as you were coming up here?
Just the shadows of the flashlight and you.
Okay.
What did you see? Did you see something?
I don't know. I think
Well,
there's
better-
someone in the house.
That's impossible.
I see a shadow on the second floor in a
I mean, I'll
window.
Where she's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Diarmud, you're the only one who I don't remember. Eden, did you roll a spot hidden? I'm not sure you
I
did.
didn't yet. I haven't
Okay,
rolled.
both Diarmud and Eden, roll me a spot hidden, please.
Okay. Let's make it happen.
We'll say that you are all have gathered here, standing on the golf course around hole 3 at this point, as
Wow.
you seemed.
1.
Hell yes! Wow!
Wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna be mine.
Wow.
57 under 75.
Okay.
Mine's a 1
Nice.
under 30.
Eden, you look up towards where she's pointing, and you don't see anything.
Yeah.
But Diarmud, as you see where she's pointing, you also look up and you train your eyes, and you don't see any shadows at the windows that she's pointing at. But towards the back, as you're scanning, of the ground floor, you also see a drape move and a shadow
All right.
inside.
No one panic. There is definitely someone in the house.
I'm not panicked.
But on the ground floor.
No, they're not.
Well,
I can see them in the second floor window.
I don't see anything.
The drape there on the right just moved.
Turn off your light.
Somebody hid behind it as if they were hiding
Turn
from when I
off
looked at it.
Your light.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you
No.
do, he flips it. As soon as you say that, he clips it off.
Okay.
There's a back entrance. I don't know if it's open. Should we try it?
Diarmud, with your extremely high spot hidden, ridiculous spot hidden, you do also are able to see a line of trees and a pathway that seemingly leads down to a service entrance in the back that seems to go down, you think would go down into a basement. But you do see an entrance off to the back.
Right. Yeah, we should make our way there. And Diarmud pulls a 38 automatic from his jacket.
Whoa.
You see him clip the clip to make sure it's loaded and clips it back.
Lorelei does the same with her tiny little
Okay.
purse pistol.
I do have to encourage us to not. Let's not.
I'm not planning to shoot it.
Eden, there
But-
is someone trespassing in that building right there.
Well, they
When
might not
We're
someone's
also
gone missing-
trespassing.
Yes. But it might not be someone who is trespassing. They might need to be there. It might be Mr. Nan.
You three.
It could be
have to
Mr.
remember.
Milligan.
You
I haven't
three
done
have to
anything.
remember.
I've been very good. Just to be very honest about everything. You said you three. That is not me. I didn't do this. I didn't run off into the darkness. I didn't break into a car. I sat in the car quietly. That's all I did. No, listen to
Charlotte,
me. That's all I
Charlotte.
did.
Charlotte.
What? You can't run off
Calm
by
down a little bit.
yourself.
Yes, I can. I'm an
Because
adult.
I
It's okay.
need to make sure you
It's
live.
okay. Charlotte. It's okay.
Charlotte, are you afraid of the dark?
I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what's
Okay.
in the dark. It's very different.
You're very right. Those are two very different things, and I apologize. I am also afraid of what could be in the dark. And what I know now is
We
that
have to
there
be
is
smart.
someone in the house right now.
Lorelei takes Charlotte's hand. I understand. I do. And I'm sorry I scared you.
I'm just saying that I made a epic cross, and if you die, it will be my fault because
It will
I
not.
didn't save you.
No. Charlotte, it's not up to you
Okay.
to save everyone in the world.
Well, I have to save someone.
No.
Or die.
You do not have to save everyone in the world. If you save yourself, that is enough. Right now, however, there is someone in that house. And when you were walking up here, I was seeing stars doing some kind of dance around your light. I think something is going on. I think my husband might be trying to reach out to me. I'm not sure.
Oh,
And I'm going to do everything in my power to reach out back to him.
I see.
So,
Okay.
if it was a message from him telling me to go to the house or look at the house, then I'm going to do it.
And
That makes sense.
you're sure that you had a long trip? You're sure it's
Yes,
not?
I'm very tired. My
Eden, you have
balls are
known
so
these people
tired.
1 hour.
Yeah.
I'm having a breakdown.
Absolute stranger to me.
I'm not sure of anything. Truly, it could just be someone in there waiting to stab me to death, but I'm willing to take that risk.
Okay.
Just so we're clear here, I am using what I've observed with my own eyesight. I'm not relying on the otherworldly or the occult to understand what's happening here. I am telling you, with the 20-odd years of military experience and spotting of movement in the distance in trees, I saw someone in the room.
Sure.
Someone's in that house.
Great. Someone's in that house, and it's up to us apparently to go find out who it is.
We don't
Let's
have
go
to.
then. Let's
I
go
will.
into the house. No,
If
I
you,
will.
if you
I
do not
will-
want to, Charlotte,
We
we are
will
not
go
going to make
together.
it. Okay.
No one will get left behind.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you like to hold my hand there?
It's full of seeds, but thank you.
I don't care.
Oh,
I've held
okay.
worse hands, I promise you.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Sure.
My husband was very clammy all the time. Yeah.
These are just seed dust, really.
No, it's not too bad.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just walking to the house.
Okay.
We're heading around the backside. Where are you?
I will-
Diarmud's waiting for Eden's movement and
Sure.
processing.
Eden.
You have 3 entrances. You have the front that you saw. You have, when you're standing here alongside of the golf course, you are also able to see that glass foyer, which seems to lead onto a patio and leads into seemingly a hall or a ballroom, things of that nature. And then, as I said, Diarmud is able to point out that along the backside you see a small road looping around the side of the house that slopes down sharply between a row of trees that you can tell looks like some sort of delivery entrance.
Yeah, I think Eden goes to the sighs very deeply, walks to the car, opens the trunk, and pulls out a rifle, like a hunter's rifle.
Yes, everyone has
I
guns.
guess.
This is good.
Yeah, Eden, as you're walking to the car, what I will suggest to you as they walk to the back of the entrance that I pointed out is I'll hand you the flashlight and say, knock on the front door.
All right.
I'm going to make my way back with the ladies, and we'll see what we can figure out.
And if we do find something we didn't want to find, what happens then?
We're going to find out, I think.
On our way back, I want to try the glass door to the foyer.
Sure.
See if it opens. If it does, I'll go in that way. But if it doesn't, then I'll go to the service entrance. But I want to also stick to the shadows because I don't want whoever is up there to see me.
I'm doing the same.
Yeah.
You step up to these side doors along the patio. You step off the kind of the well manicured, very tightly mowed area of the fairway of this golf course, and you step up to this window, this glass door, and you're able to see inside. It's very dark, but even in the shadows, you're able to see brass light fixtures clinging to the ceiling that are just vaguely catching the light here and there, what little light there is. You see a few small tables and high-backed chairs, and you see the walls are kind of painted hunter's green with beautiful parquet flooring. Your knowledge of antiques and you're quite impressed with this. Looks like as if they were setting out to, it does seem quite high class, quite posh. But as you softly reach out to try the door, it is locked.
Okay, then we'll head to the service entrance.
Okay. Eden, as you make your way back, your rifle kind of tucked under your arm very comfortably where it normally is, you head towards the entrance, the main entrance.
Yeah.
You stand there surrounded by a lot of windows. You have that feeling, even though you see nothing moving, this house, this manor seems to look out at you like a person. And there's something deeply unsettling about all of these empty, dark windows staring out at you. But you sigh and you move forward. You reach this grand carved doorway. You try the door, or you knock.
I think it's instinct for her to knock.
Okay. You have a moment of consideration, and you reach out.
Boom, boom, boom.
Silence. Nothing. No movement. No voice. No response. The door is heavy and does not move under your fist.
I turn back to Charlotte.
She's with me at the service entrance.
Okay.
They're across the other side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You are split for now, and I am not panicking about it.
We split the party.
You should not be.
Actually, I mean, there's times. I will say splitting the party in Call of Cthulhu is a little more, particularly when it comes to like research and questioning and things of that nature.
It's kind of like the vibe.
But on the B&E side of things, I don't know. You do you.
Military tactics would indicate this
Sure.
is a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I think I'll take a step back and look out and up, and once again, just kind of throw a glance towards those upper windows and maybe the ground floor windows. Just trying to see if I can see what they witnessed.
You think back to these people who, Diarmud and Lorelei, who so clearly were saying, I saw this, I very clearly saw this, there is someone in there, and all of their descriptions, you're trying to keep it all straight in your head.
Mm-hmm.
But all you know right now is it is a very dark, quiet building standing in front of you. Empty for all you can tell. Not a soul around. The wind blows over the Scottish Highlands around you. You bring your coat tighter to you to stop the chill. But you see nothing, you hear nothing at this moment.
I think I'll just wait.
Okay.
And I will just tap my foot. Wait, hear if they come back, when they come back.
Okay. The three of you make your way around this little small side road across this line of trees, which it's the unsightly entrance of the ground, so it's sort of kept away from the eyes of the paying public. But you can see there's an access ramp that leads down to a small basement door. It's a normal sized wooden door. It's not as heavy as the others, but as you approach and make your way down, it is very quiet. Who approaches the door?
Me.
Lorelei, you go first.
Yeah.
You make your way down this ramp to this basement access door. You reach out and you grab the doorknob. And as you do, it's very cold. It's cold. It's cold here. It's cold outside. It's night in Scotland in December.
Mm-hmm.
But as you reach your hand and it touches the metal of this doorknob on this door, your flesh almost sticks to it, like a tongue to a pole.
Huh.
Take out a handkerchief and use that to open the door instead.
It's locked.
She looks up at Diarmud and she's like, "Did you, by chance, say that you had some skill with lockpicking?"
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe we should have just gone the way we were supposed
I've seen Diarmud has seen someone in the house.
Eden never saw them again.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
rolling up new characters. I'm
Eden
sure
just
it's
whistling.
fine.
Oh my god, keep going. All right. Okay.
Three under 61.
Dude, come on, Ron Ogden. This is what it's like DMing for Ron Ogden.
I just roll the dice.
I love
and
you,
read
buddy.
the numbers.
Jeez.
Amazing.
Morgan's sitting there going, fail, 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 fail.
Yeah, I wanted to fail. Are you kidding me? I don't want to know what's in this house. I want to fail.
Did I say one? I meant 91.
Yeah.
We were gonna have such a nice little dinner with the
I know.
lady.
Yeah, there is a lovely roast waiting for you. It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, you guys.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't come to eat roast. I came to roast a criminal.
I came to roast some ghosts.
Beautiful. He ain't afraid no ghosts. That is correct. Okay. Wow. With a practiced dexterity and fluidity, the two of you, Charlotte and Lorelei, watch as Diarmud goes, "Yep, no problem." And you also notice the severe coldness of the doorknob. But as you're doing so, it doesn't seem to stop you. And with just a matter of seconds.
So it's a quick pop in situation.
And then I'll make my way in, gun drawn, as if entering a known occupied bunker of sorts.
I want to put my hand on his shoulder really fast to stop him and then just listen to see if we can hear anything.
Okay.
And I will do the same once she puts my hand on her shoulder. I realize what she's doing, and I think it's a good idea and realize I should do the same.
When you open this door, you unlock this door and you turn the handle. It comes out and a puff of cold air hits you in the face. Very cold.
That doesn't make sense.
You get the
colder
sense
inside than out.
You get the sense that if you were to stand in this temperature down here, and you're not standing, you'd think it was a meat locker, but it's not.
This isn't.
If you stood in this temperature for an hour, maybe longer, you could start to have frostbite. It is legit that cold.
This is unnatural. This isn't supposed to. This isn't what causes this.
Diarmud, I don't know if we should go in. I think we should listen and we should look from a safe distance.
The room
perhaps during the day.
Yes.
The room that you're looking in on is a packed earth floor. There's nothing really of that much interest in this room, but you do see one door off to the left. There is a wooden wall. Sorry, it's a wooden and concrete wall in front of you, and another off to the right.
I have something occurs to Diarmud, and he backs up and he looks at the ground, and he's starting to look for tracks in both outside of this door and any that are in the room from where he can see.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll use his flashlight to see if he can see footsteps or any sort of imprints in the dust in the basement.
You can try either a spot hidden or a track roll. I believe track is a roll, yes?
Use track. I'll use track.
Okay. Charlotte and Lorelei, you see a large collection of gardening equipment in this one room in front of you. Hoes, rakes, things of that nature, picks and shovels. But otherwise, nothing of immediate jumping out at you in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
56 over 50.
Failure.
Oh.
You, in this hard-packed ground...
I'm going to use 6 luck points.
Do it.
Nice.
Sure.
Right off the bat.
Use it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Hell yeah.
You want to know?
This is
it.
This is weird.
So that's a 50 and 50.
Great. Make sure you mark that.
I did.
As your great. Okay. Particularly this room, the ground is packed earth. And you do see in this temperature a thin layer of frost along the ground. So much so that if you were to reach your foot out, your feet don't actually sink into the earth at all. So even though you're fairly sure and you're taking your time and looking, you see no tracks. Just the door off to the left. I'm sorry, and one door to the right. Apologies.
And to the right? Okay. Do I hear anything? If I just...
Yeah.
Roll me a listen check if everyone would like to roll a listen check.
Do that.
Me too.
Oh, I didn't even realize listen was a thing.
Not you, Eden, no.
I'm dubious. Yeah.
I will run for you when everything goes bad. Don't you worry, you won't
coming
get
for you,
left out.
baby.
It'll
Thank
be
you.
me running for my life for you.
Oh yeah.
Mine was a 30 under 35.
Nice.
Barely.
Can't wait. Nice.
60 over 20.
Okay, fail.
66
I
over 20.
succeeded 43.
43 under what?
50.
Okay, so we had two regular successes.
Regular success.
The two of you standing there as Diarmud is still looking down at the ground, looking for anything like footprints or tracks of any such nature. You do both catch a sound. It's quiet. There was a thing that old TVs used to have where you could hear them in the distance in your house. You could hear the electric hum.
Cathode ray tubes.
You hear an electric hum from somewhere not far. You think probably in the cellar. But there is that tingling noise in your ears. Almost makes you want to work your jaw a little bit.
I'm gonna step inside and I'm gonna try and find the source of it, but I'm gonna point at the door to be like, keep it open.
Okay.
I'd like to the combination of this hum and the cold. I'd like to an occult roll. I want to see if this what
Okay.
I just want to roll occult.
I'm gonna make you do this at a penalty die.
That means I do a disadvantage with that.
Disadvantage,
okay,
yeah.
All right. Okay. Oh, that's
Because you're literally you have jigsaw puzzle pieces, and you're not even sure if they even go to the same puzzle.
Yeah, I rolled just to know what it is. I failed, but the second roll was a 4.
Oh, just a flat 4. Ouch.
Yeah.
Morgan,
Yes, sir.
electric repair. Is this just an underground freezer? Is this just a basement freezer?
So you have electric repair as a skill.
I do.
Here's the thing. You wonder that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of the signs of it.
Okay.
It is so cold, as I said, you almost
Right.
would expect to look to either side and see
And then an electric
slabs of
hum would
meat
indicate.
hanging or something. Nope.
Right. Okay.
And you can't know if maybe there is a freezer deeper in the basement.
Sure,
This
for sure.
room that you are standing on
Is
the
not.
outskirts is not.
Got it.
It looks like a gardener's supply room.
Then I will let Lorelei through and follow her in.
I'm in the doorway.
You have a door to the right and a door to the left, Lorelei.
Which direction is the noise coming from? Do I
Hard
get
to
pulled
tell.
in?
It's kind of all around.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly but quietly try the door on the right.
On the right. Okay.
We're really in there.
We
No,
are so much
I
further than I thought,
I'm
and I
not
love it.
To be
Happy
clear.
holidays.
In the doorway.
Should I roll a
So
stealth?
clear.
Because I'm trying to be quiet. I'm trying to be as
Absolutely.
unnoticeable as
Roll me a stealth. I love that.
possible. Okay.
I will also
Yes.
follow her lead on that.
55 under a 65.
Nice.
Yes.
You almost slip on this icy earth.
32 under 45.
Beautiful. But you both brace yourselves on each other, and you feel you are taking the softest steps. And you feel like you are being very quiet.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to him to not talk, but I have a feeling he's on the same wavelength as me. So I'm gonna try that right door and try so slowly so it doesn't make a single creak.
He taps on your shoulder twice.
You look the door to the right.
Yeah.
You open it. You see a boiler room. A huge furnace and adjacent boilers providing hot water to radiators situated throughout. You see pipes that cut in through the walls, intricate system of plumbing that seems to provide cold and hot water to all directions. Now, the furnace is off. You're able to identify what it is, but you're able to pretty quickly tell there is no heat coming off it. It's obviously very cold down here, but it is not currently operational.
Do I hear the noise in this room?
Yes. However, you're unable to tell if it's coming from this room.
Okay.
All four walls of this room appear to be made of thick stone. If you would like to investigate the room, I can ask you for a spot hidden.
Yes, and I want to specifically look in the furnace to see, because I'm imagining it's one of those with a little door where you put like coal or wood, any kind of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Your response makes me nervous. Uh-huh.
Okay. Roll me a spot hidden check. Diarmud, I'll allow you one too if you like.
Okay.
Wow. I love you guys. Wow.
Oh God.
What? No. I love this. This is so great.
It's a 50 under a 60.
Nice.
89 over 30.
Oof. Okay.
Wow.
Diarmud, you're just kind of taking in your eyes are lost in the numerous pipes and things heading off in all directions. But Lorelei, you do see that the one wall to the north is also made of stone, but unlike the other walls, it's whitewashed, seemingly as if it's been perhaps more recently renovated than the other walls.
Is that the wall that the furnace is on?
Stand by. Yes.
Cool. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna look in the furnace.
You're gonna look in the furnace.
Yeah, I want to see if there's like still coal or wood in there, just because she's not gonna leave any stone unturned.
Quick question: What, Charlotte? What is your state right now?
What are you doing?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Upon seeing you all descend into this very cold, strange room, if it is like a movie and we're following you two into this furnace room, if the camera were to zoom to the doorway, she will not be there. It'll be gone. She has run. She has fled. She is trying to find Eden because they are now inside. That's wild. Okay. It's like,
And
Eden.
yeah.
Eden.
Huh? What?
Hello, Eden. The other two, Diarmud and Lorelei, are now inside the very cursed room. It's cold for no reason, and they are in there. So I guess my question to you is, how responsible are you to us being? Are you in charge of us, or are you like a leader? Are you the leader that we should be?
Something
Should
like
be
that.
saying
I'm
something, or?
I can go after them. They shouldn't be in there. We said.
I mean, you don't tell them I said to go after them. That would be crazy. But what I'm saying is that if they died, Eden, would we be held in a criminal law with that death?
So, is the scale for you living right now, and then everything after that is just foot on the gas, death?
What is there? It's you're alive, you're not alive. I feel like that's pretty straightforward.
Sometimes people just roll their ankles, they break their legs. Simple. Some people just run into walls. I ran into a wall once. Broke my nose. It hurt, but I didn't die.
Yes, that I've also run into my fair share of walls, as well. I will say that
Just running into walls.
In the middle of the surgery
we're
room.
bonding
Americans.
now. Diarmud, we're bonding. Okay.
Sorry. Apologies.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that Arthur was likely murdered. They're going into what is essentially a murder house.
Why are you rolling?
We don't know if they were.
He's been gone for a month. Unless he has a new family, which is a thing that could happen, I guess.
The police have been.
What if I did a Call of
All
Cthulhu
around
game
here.
and it was all just like domestic squabbles and secret families?
Honestly, it's
Just
not
Just
bad.
normal
family.
stuff.
I mean,
really
I'd watch
funny.
that show, wouldn't you guys?
Daring. Is it a Cthulhu object?
It's billed as,
No.
it's billed as cosmic horror, but it's just domestic violence.
It's
That's
just
all it is.
domestic, just
like, it's
domestic
just
squabbles and
Squabbles.
things going
Yeah,
wrong.
He always meets with
Farmers
them.
getting mad about.
No, I wouldn't do that to
Their
us in the year
sheep
of
is
our
on
Lord
highlands,
2024.
like,
Anyway,
yeah.
continue.
So, Eden, I'm just. We had a plan, Eden. We had a plan to
did.
go to dinner,
Yeah.
and now we're deviating so far from that plan.
Honestly, dinner's probably cold by now.
And what a tragedy that is. Because
Lorelei, Charlotte has gone. Just to let you know, she's not in the door anymore. I don't know where she went.
Great. I have this terrible image of the door closing on us and us freezing to death, but
I told her if she to not disappear like you did, and now she's gone and done it. I don't know what to do.
I'm
Are
going
we
to open
staying
this
in
furnace.
here? Because yeah, right. This just looks like a furnace to me.
I
I'm
know,
starting to
but I
wonder
have
if maybe I didn't see what I saw.
Roll a spot hidden check, Lorelei, please.
Okay. Where's my spot hidden? I got a 17 under 60.
Whoa.
whoa,
That is definitely a hard success.
a hard success.
I'm keeping these two dice separate from the others.
Yes.
Extreme would have been
VIP.
15, correct? But that is
Extreme is
definitely
Well,
Well,
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a 75 spot hidden in my extremist 15.
Got it. Thank you.
I love these dice.
Even some math I can't do. Oh.
I can't do any of this stuff.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe in
You
math.
can do all math. You do my math all the time, Morgan. Don't lie to the people.
Thank you. You are poking around this not operational at the moment furnace. You get the sense that someone with electrical knowledge may be able to turn this on, but it just seems turned off. It doesn't. You don't notice anything broken. You don't notice anything like truly out of the ordinary. Your hand reaches out to try to open it. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
It is freezing to the touch. This metal has been in like sub-zero temperatures for days, seemingly. And again, like it kind of like bites pins and needles as you reach out and try to grab for it. You're able to, after a moment, awkwardly kind of swing it open. And you look down into the darkness of this furnace. And you lean in close. And you don't see anything.
Okay.
But one thing you do notice is the smell of ozone. As there is seemingly that electric sound. As you are leaning this closer to the north wall, you are able to tell that wherever that sound is coming from, it's on the other side of this wall.
Oh.
And as you lean up, Diarmud, you are trying to make sense of the pipes behind her. And you see a flash out of the corner of your eye. Lorelei, roll me either a strength or dex roll.
Okay. Those are my two worst. Great. I'm going to go for Dex.
Okay.
With a 42 under a 43.
42 under a 43.
Whoa.
Gosh.
Hey, a success is a success.
By
We'll take
one
it.
point.
Listen, don't.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's find out what happened.
That's a regular success.
I mixed up my dice.
Unfortunately.
No, I mixed up my dice.
Oh.
It's a 2-0.
Oh, it's a 20.
It's a 24.
24.
Oh.
This is my 100 and this is my 10.
Amazing. 24 under, but that's still a success.
43.
Under 43. So it's a regular success.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
the thing you are rolling against rolled a 10.
Okay. Okay.
Diarmud, let me tell you what you see.
Yeah.
Once again, that electric sound and that sound like white noise and radio static comes to, and there is a static pop as you watch Lorelei. Her shoulders are grabbed by something with claws.
Oh, okay.
And in a flash, she's gone.
This is why we don't do stuff. Oh God.
All right, so I'm going to assume.
And that's where we're going to
sanity
stop
roll?
tonight.
Okay.
Oh no! Joking about making a second character.
Well, I want to put it out there that it definitely was my idea to come here. That was my idea.
Where she is,
I jumped on that.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe I'll find what I'm looking for here. Who knows?
I'm
We
guessing
need
she's probably the same place that
I
Intrepid.
love this.
I'm glad you're having a good time.
Oh my God. I love this. Oh,
Lorelei, where was
wow.
your
Main
character?
I purposely made a character who kind of had nothing to lose. So I'm playing her that way, and it's...
You just want to see your husband again.
I do!
Friends, that
so
was our
sad.
first episode of Forbidden.
Oh my god.
We will see you. We're not done yet. We got to read off some Patreon names, which I'm going to share in the chat for folks because I forgot to send them to everybody before we started. There was a lot going on. But we will see you January 8th. We'll be back with these characters.
Don't you dare!
I mean, this went so great.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what I expected, but wow. I was like, maybe this will be just like a manor house murder mystery. I don't know.
Listen,
Something like
I
that.
don't get to be
Or
a
we could
player
have gone
very
this way.
often, so when I do get to be a player, I'm moving the story forward!
Heck
by
yeah, Rachel
force.
Seeley.
Very happy.
I was there with you. I was
Seeley.
supporting you.
I know!
Yeah,
The
it's
two of
great.
us are like bumbling in.
Yep.
We love big choices. Patreon.com/thedungeonrun. Head over there for all of the amazing bonus content, for so many amazing things. And for certain higher level patrons, we read off your names at the end of each show for Team Force of Light and Team Force of Shadow in the style of their suggestions. It's our way of saying thank you and we love you. And this being our last show of 2024, we love you guys so much. This has been such a great year. So many amazing adventures, so many amazing stories, so many new friends. Lexi, I'm looking at you. And so much more amazing stuff to come. But go to patreon.com/adungeonrun. Support the show. That's the best way to support the show. We appreciate you, all of you here on Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you so much. Follow all our socials. But tonight, we've got some amazing suggestions, some of them very much on theme. When the community heard we were going Call of Cthulhu, Tapartos and Idaho Judd and a few others went mad on the Patreon board with suggestions of how we should read off names. So we're going to start with Team Force of Shadow. Lexi, you can kind of hang back or if you want to jump in. And we're going to be reading these names in the style of a suggestion from Tapartos. Reading the names like a vintage 1920s news bulletin.
Yeah!
I'm in.
For Team
God,
Force of
it's-
Shadow.
Transatlantic
Tonight on the Dungeon
You might be saying I think I'm nuts, but Johnny comes back from a Lincoln break.
After that Lincoln break, the Black Kakari is going to show us their very fantastic world's first ever fail waffle.
Well, you don't say. That sounds swell.
It's Gateway Guy with today's weather. It looks like rain. Everywhere.
Everywhere! It's currently raining!
Do your kids abracadabra too much of their time away playing stickball and things with their friends in the streets? Well, that's why we've got a new show for you to listen to called Idaho Judd. Have your kids listen to Idaho Judd, and he'll share all of his wonders and fascinating things to do with potatoes. Idaho Judd, every afternoon at 3 p.m.
This show brought to you by Idaho Judd, sponsored by Idaho Judd.
And Spuds. They're delicious, especially after you add water.
Thank you, Team Force of Shadow. That was a weird one. We're out of practice. No, but I love it.
That was great. That was great.
Was like, I will find the thread. Didn't.
You were
Got it.
Yeah, I was
still in shock.
I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's do it again, baby. We got light.
Perfect. And with a suggestion from Idaho Judd for Team Force of Light. I love this because it's very holiday-esque. It's going to help us out. Bureaucratic elves reviewing the naughty and nice list.
I see. We have a a festive life preserver for one Angel Devilson. What is our?
Are we
what is
sure
our
Angel deserves
vibe?
the festive life preserver? I had her down for just a normal life preserver.
Just a regular one.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought your life preserver was made of coal. I think it's in her name, Devilson.
Well, yeah, but her name is also Angel, so.
Yeah. So
Well, I
I
think
kind of
that's
like.
just a ruse.
Oh.
Do you think she's trying to trick us with her name?
We should check the list.
All right, well.
She's listed under City Racing Girl, and City Racing Girl is always on the nice list, so...
City Racing Girl is pretty. She every year. Let's just shout out to City Racing Girl.
Just give it up for City Racing Girl, of course. Yeah, we should be laughing.
Somebody wrote Fenderill here, and I think that's just a curse. I think somebody's just cursing.
That's
naughty. Who messed up the list?
Reba
on here.
Did you mess up the list?
It's Reba. We all know.
But I think City Racing Girl, after 5 great years of just right at the top of the nice list, she deserves a Ghostbusters quick response unit. Honestly.
Oh my gosh, I was actually gonna give her just jewels.
Actually, just jewels?
We could just both put inside the Ghostbuster quick response unit a bunch of just jewels up in there. We'll fit it down the chimney. We'll get Santa small in it.
That's a unbearably loquacious way to just say give them a bunch of jewels inside of a house.
I think that's pretty smart.
Well, I think instead of trying to fit it in, you just go a little bit faster, and we can call it the dungeon speed run, and it'll be all together, very quick, all the way down the pipe.
Put it in there, just smoosh it into the chimney.
Because we're doing it so fast, it's gonna be that is so smart.
If we don't get this done tonight, though, Santa's gonna mask us all, so we need to really keep cranking through these.
That was last year.
Make your leg balls and go faster!
Let's get out of here! I have a convention. It was me who wrote Fenderill.
Naughty list!
Naughty list!
No Ghostbusters. You're getting the Ghostbusters slow response unit this year.
I tie a balloon to you. You drift away. Because that's what naughty list means.
I can't do anything.
Happy holidays, friends. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, community. Thank you, watchers of the time stream.
In a ttrpg show, I want to see these elves.
Oh yeah, that'll be next. Yeah, we'll work on that. Oh my goodness, this was wow. Yeah, again, I'll just keep saying. Look, we're gonna record a short rest right now. So get $5 patrons get exclusive access to the short rest where we basically react to what just happened, and I think we're gonna have some reactions. But we love you, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's so good to see you all. I can't wait to get back to the story and to with all the other stuff we've got coming in 2025. I'm very grateful for all of you, friends, and I'm grateful for the watchers of the time stream. Thank you. This has been a joy. Anything else?
My brother is watching. Haziness.
Hey, Serena's brother! All right. We love you, friends. And with that, humankind, Vivo! Bye.
Bye.
Crisis.
Crisis.